Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2025 Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. I am absolutely ecstatic to be here. It has been a long off season. We have a lot of changes, a lot of new drivers. We've kept the same great sponsor and marketing partner of Cube 3 Architecture in the TA2 Series. Welcome here to our live stream. We've got Ralph Shaheen and DJ in the booth. It's going to be amazing, but let's start talking to some new drivers here. That's what we're here for at the Sebring Speed Tour. This is our fan walk. Look at all these great fans walking around. You guys having fun? Nice. I love it. Well, Sam Corey, I've heard so much about you, and I just want to point out, look at all this available real estate. If you want to have so much fun and you have a brand or a company that you want to elevate, come talk to Sam Corey. We have a lot of drivers like this, but Sam, welcome to the series. I've heard so many good things about you.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. It's good to be out here in Sebring, Florida. A little warmer than where I'm living right now, so super happy to be here with the Nitro Motorsports crew.
Nice. I love it. What are your expectations today? Because usually, no offense, but usually newcomers to the series don't start this far up front.
Yeah, the goals today is just to move front, and obviously we're at Sebring, so it's wide going into turn one and tight when you come off. So we're just going to get through the first lap clean and go to work.
Nice. I love it. And that's exactly right. One thing I want to point out, when we throw that green flag, it's about 6 lanes going into one, and then the exit of one, it narrows down to maybe three car widths. So it's quite treacherous. Let's come over here, the Street Side Classics car with Silver Hair Racing, Noah Harmon. Here he is right here. Nice job. Noah Harmon at the car with Silver Hair. First time out here. Tell us a little bit about TA2 and your new ride here in Street Side Classics.
Yeah, so it's super excited. Going to be my first TA2 race. Got the opportunity with Silver Hair a few months ago. Got to do a test and just super excited. Was able to get Street Side Classics on board to help us out, and Flanagan Sports Bar to help us out get this season going. So super excited to start my TA2 career.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Well, come over here because we're about to show some history here in Trans Am. Last night we had our Hall of Fame event, and check this out. We've got some groundbreakers here. So Kaylee Bryson, who won last season in her SGT car, here with Mia Lovell, new to the series, and then Trans Am legend Lynn St. James is here, and then future Trans Am legend is Mila. Mila, are you having fun?
Yes.
She says yes. Well, Mia, tell me a little bit about, I've been hearing about this. The Nitro crew and Nick Tucker have been saying that you're going to make a lot of men really angry this year. Are you pretty happy with your starting position, and welcome to TA2?
Thanks. I'm really happy with my starting position. Rolling off P11. It's a really competitive field out here today, so I'm hoping to just race forward.
Nice, nice. And we're going to see Kaylee Bryson in the car tomorrow. It's the same car, but there's some upgrades to move her to XGT, and you're having a blast out there, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. The car's like 5 seconds or more faster than it has been. We took the restrictors out, so it's been a lot of fun to run the XGT car, and we're qualifying later today and racing tomorrow.
Nice. I love it. And Lynn St. James was here with us in the Hall of Fame. She's going to give the start command. She is our Grand Marshal, another Trans Am legend. So much fun to be here. The crowd is gathering around. I love it. Let's come down through the field. Another newcomer to the series, and ladies and gentlemen, it is amazing that they're doing so well in such a tight competitive field in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 series is Carson Brown. And you can see here there's still some real estate here in Carson Brown with Franklin Road Apparel. Carson, welcome to the series, and how is it out there?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's really good. Scott Legacy prepared me really good. Pay Cafe and Ebb Logistics Chevrolet, and I think we'll be really good. I hope we just run a clean race. This is my first TA2 race, so I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. I love it. Well, welcome to the series. I love this. We're bringing in so many new people to the series. So many new fans. I like that hat. Check this out. Look at that. Look at that. So we've got some fans here. Unbelievable. Where is Valentin? Here he is. We're going to come over here a little bit. Valentin, come on over here. So you're here with Cope, all the way from Argentina, ladies and gentlemen, and one of my favorite Argentinians that's raced with is Mariano Warner, good friends of yours, but welcome to the TA2 series. How do you find Sebring? Are you having fun out there?
Thank you. Yes, no, I wasn't here before. It's first time for me in the series in the track. So let's see. I will do my best. I really like the category, the series. I watch a lot of races here, like by YouTube, so I really like it. I'll do my best.
Nice. I love it. Well, good luck out there. You're in good hands with our friend Elias over there. Let's come back a little bit more, if you don't mind. Where's Thornborough? All right, so we talked to Argentina. Now we go to the other side of the world, from down under. Eden, all the way from Australia, first time here at Sebring, first time with us in Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series, but he runs the Trans Am Series in Australia, which is so much fun to watch. Welcome to Sebring, and how is it out there?
Thank you. Yeah. First time to Sebring. Well, funny, it was first time to mainland US only about a month ago when we came here and tested. But so far, loving it. Unreal. The guys are unbelievable. The competition's crazy. Like, best drivers in, I'm sure, North America are standing right here. So, yeah, can't wait for the race till the lights go out, and yeah, gonna have a lot of fun.
Now, when you're used to racing a circuit like Bathurst, everybody complains about the bumps and the difficulty at Sebring, but does this feel like a walk in the park against Bathurst?
I'd say sort of the opposite. You know, we grow up watching a lot of Bathurst, driven Bathurst like dozens of times. So, you know, coming here to here, we don't have any track like it. It's a completely different skill set. You know, you've really got to adjust to the bumps and how the car's going to behave and react. So, yeah, different. For us, more difficult. It doesn't come naturally. I'm sure it might be a different story if you guys come over to Bathurst, but yeah.
Unbelievable. Eden, good luck out there. So great to have this coming in international series. We've got TA2 Australia, TA2 Asia, TA2 Europe, but I still think we're the best. Speaking of the best, we have our Pro-Am champion from last year, Barry Bowes. Nobody did more race laps in a TA2 car than Barry Bowes. Congratulations on your championship, but you're wanting to defend this year.
Oh, absolutely. I'm wanting to defend. I'm wanting to move forward in the National Series. We've now combined the points, so I get to see how I'm doing against my Pro-Am competitors and overall all the pros, Chevrolet, Toyota development drivers that I'm driving against too. And I'm really excited to stack myself up against both grids of people.
Nice. I love it. Well, let me show you something here. You can see this blue windshield banner. That delineates Pro-Am over the National Series. And then we got to turn around here. You got to get Megan's race day pants. Megan here representing. Nice job, Barry. Great to see you guys. Then we come back here to Adam Andretti with the Ultimate Header Chevy Camaro with John Cloud right there, the team owner. But Adam's doing an interview. Sorry about that. Adam Andretti, Ultimate Headers. You're doing double duty, running Cube 3 TA2 Series and TA tomorrow.
Yes, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. I get to drive for two of the most glorious people you could ever want to meet on the planet. John Cloud here with his Ultimate Header Chevrolet Camaro and the Cube 3 TA2, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. But in the TA race tomorrow, Claudio Burton, that top liner Chevrolet Camaro is flying, and we're looking forward to getting that going. But just blessed to be here. The sun's shining on Sebring. It's a beautiful day. The fans are out in droves, and we're just having a wonderful time. And looking forward to you tuning in here at Speed Sport 1. And thank you for everything you're doing for us. And excited to have you on board. And going to have a great year. 2025 is going to be a special year for Trans Am.
Nice. I love it. Well, good luck out there. Let's come over here with Nitro. Julian DaCosta ran a few races with us last year. Very fast, experienced road racer. How you feeling about Sebring today?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's a really fun track, and we worked out some issues, and I think it should be a really fun race, and we should be pretty quick. So, yeah, it'll be fun for sure, no matter what happens. So.
Nice, I love it. He's with Take 5 Oil Change. Unbelievable. Uh-oh, Joe's got something for us.
So we have to ask him about his haircut.
Oh, well, what about your haircut, Julian?
I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, you got to show us, Joe.
No, it's afterwards.
Oh, it's afterwards. All right, so hopefully we're going to see something afterwards from Julian. Let's walk back just a little bit more to Keith Prochuk. Here we go, Lee. Let's talk about this. Lee, our new CEO, welcome to the series. Your first race with us. You've been with us, as a racer, but now you're the CEO. How's it feel to be on the grid at Cube 3?
This is an amazing event right here today. It's the people here. I'm shocked. It's what a level of excitement. Great young racers. What an exciting time to be here. And I am. A month ago, I wouldn't have told you that this is something that was ever going to happen in my life, and I couldn't be more excited about what we're looking forward to here with both this series and others that we're working with.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. We've got Roberto Sabato here We've got Keith Prochuk, who was doing really well in the Pro-Am. I'm going to try to run through as quickly as possible. Former TA2 champion of Tony Buffamante has passed the torch to his son Gian Buffamante. But right now, I'm going to send it up to my new friend Ralph up in the booth. So Ralph, take it away.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. Ralph Shaheen with you alongside DJ Clark and Ben Sissel down there on the grid right now. And we are getting ready to get to our Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli Cube 3 Architecture TA2 event. So parade activity taking place out on the racetrack right now. Some little rat rods out there, DJ, and a wide variety of cars. But we're going to be right back to kick things off. Stay with us. We're coming right back for more at Sebring. It's going to be an outstanding afternoon of racing. You're going to see it all live right after this.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.
Welcome back live to Sebring International Raceway, this legendary Central Florida racetrack, ready to welcome the Trans Am by Pirelli Championship and the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 race, getting ready to go. Ralph Shaheen alongside DJ Clark and Ben Sissel with us as well, as we are moments away from the start of our first big thundering race of the weekend, DJ.
Yeah, we really are, and this is the perfect kind of track to be able to bring these TA2 cars to light on. Lots of horsepower, lots of straight line speed to be able to get their ways down, and as we've heard mentioned down on the grid, very bumpy, very tricky. It is a technical challenge, but it always produces great racing.
All right, before we get started with the racing, let's go back down trackside. Here's Ben Sissel.
Friend Mike Skeen, who is looking for more sponsorship so he can do more in the season. So Mike, welcome back to TA2. How's it feel for Sebring?
It's awesome to be here. You know, I love racing in this series. It's been a great time. Glad we got this program together last second for this race. But like you said, we're trying to find some sponsorship to keep it going and hopefully battle for a championship. That year in 2020, when we put it on the pole here, we won the race and went on to win the championship. So hopefully we can do that again.
Nice. So looking for some more good luck from Mike Skeen. Tyler Gonzalez, who did a few races with us, starting next to Mike Skeen. Then we come back here, two-time champion Rafa Matos, Thomas Annunziata. Then we come back here, 14-year-old Tristan McKee, unbelievable. Boris Said Jr. starting outside of him. Then Austin Green here with the three-dimensional services group. Adrian Lostowski with a great starting and a pole in the qualifying. I'm looking around for Marvin Gray. Where is, here he is right here. Marvin Gray is going to deliver the invocation. So Marvin Gray, take the mic and deliver us the invocation. Little history here though. He went to his first Trans Am race in 1967 at Mid-Ohio, and you've been bitten by the bug ever since, right?
Absolutely.
All right, take it away.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here today and the beauty of your creation. We thank you for a new season. We thank you for each and every one of the racers that are here. Bless and protect them, the crew, the safety workers, the officials, and the fans. Thank you for our fans being here. I pray your blessing upon our country, Lord. Be with our leaders. Bless and protect them. And bless and protect our safety forces and our troops, that they may serve you and that you may be honored in all we do. In your name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen, Marvin. Thank you so much. It's great to have you here. We have a special treat, ladies and gentlemen. Rebecca Wills here to sing us our national anthem. Rebecca, take it away.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Nice job, Rebecca. Well done.
No idea how you did that.
That much closer to the start of the race today.
Yeah, that much closer to being able to kick off the action here, and as you could feel it down on the grid from Ben, that energy just starting to percolate a little bit. Everybody's ready to get rolling.
Oh, yeah. Looking for their favorite spot on the grass around the racetrack. That looks like it might be over by turn number 7, mission turn 7 at the 7. All right, let's take a look, DJ, at our starting lineup now for our Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series main event. You see Mia Lovell back there in 11th, Thomas Merrill in 13th place, Carson Brown right there in 12th. There is stout drivers all the way through this field.
Yeah, and I think they're in particularly look for Merrill to maybe move his way up through the order. Jim Guthrie as well, a former champion. He's got a lot of speed in that car. Didn't really get things together yesterday, but they could be moving their way forward. And another driver in that back half, Gian Buffalmonte, son of a former champion, definitely has got a little bit of that something to add to everything. Tom Sheehan as well had more space, but they made a tire change, so that means they have to start at the back of the field.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course you saw Corey Day in there as well, who's been tapped by Mr. H to be a future star for Hendrick Motorsports. He's talking with his dad, Ronnie, yesterday, and Corey does not have a lot of road racing experience. This is his first one. So it'll be a learning afternoon for Corey.
Well, what better way to get it than at Sebring, one of the most physical and demanding circuits that you can have. It's definitely a trial by fire for him, but if he does well, that's going to prove a wealth of experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he's going to be running a wide variety of things this year. He's running trucks, ARCA, Xfinity. He's running here. He's also running a 410 wing sprint car, and he's running a midget. So, you know, a little something different here this weekend. a TA2 car. Unbelievable schedule for him. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here on Speed Sport 1 for more live coverage from Sebring.
is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
There's Boris said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zones, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, Lagarde, Miller, Lagarde.
Honor to be here with our Grand Marshal, Lyn St. James, Trans Am legend. Lyn, I'm sure you'd rather be in the seat than in the seat you're in right now.
Absolutely. I'm watching the telling us we got 1 minute to go. I'm like, I'm used to that one, not listening to you telling me what we're going to do. I love being here, love being part of this, and it's fantastic to see Trans Am growing and growing more and more. You know, it had a great history, 60-year history, so it was absolutely fantastic.
And you are such a huge part of that history. But Lyn, take the mic away, Lyn St. James. Give us the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Well, that's the sound we've been waiting for right there. Bringing the thunder is our Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli Cube 3 Architecture TA2 machines ready to go.
Yeah, and you could just kind of feel that electricity reverberate through the stands here as the engine's fired up. This isn't only some of the best racing on the planet, it's some of the loudest. It sounds like raw American muscle, and that's about what we're going to get here today.
Well, you know what they say, DJ, if it's too loud, you're too old.
Darn right.
What a great looking field of cars, and I'm telling you, it is one of the stoutest fields I've seen in a road racing category like this in a long time.
I mean, it really is. If we just look at these first two rows, Mike Skeen able to set a track record with that pole time yesterday. And then the two gentlemen starting right behind him, Rafa Matos, multi-time champion. We know his pedigree. Tyler Gonzalez sat on the podium a couple of times last year, winner of the inaugural GR Cup Series 2 years ago. This is a young driver that is going places. And oh yeah, then Thomas Annunziata behind them. This is going to be great.
Yeah, and I'm just thrilled with all the young talent throughout this field. We've talked about so many of them, Mia and Carson Brown and Corey Day, I should say, and so many others. It's going to be a thrill to watch these young drivers shape their careers over the next year. Well, let's take a look at this legendary Sebring International Raceway circuit layout. Get you familiar with the corners. Many of them are exceptionally well known over the years. As you come down the front straightaway, 3.74 miles around here this afternoon. get down over here into turn number 1, and our Cube 3 corners are 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, and that's really where you're going to see a lot of overtaking. It gets tricky down into 3 and through 5. Then once we get into Big Bend, turn 6, and head down to the Mission Foods hairpin, another great overtaking opportunity.
Yep, that's the famed turn number 7 right there. Then you start working your way towards the back side of the racetrack here. Coming through 8 and 9 to the left. All the way over here to the Bennett Transportation Logistics turn 15, Bridge Hall turn 16. Then you're starting to make your way over here onto the Ullman straightaway.
Not necessarily the biggest overtaking opportunity. Turn 17, Sunset Bend, tends to be a little bit more of a speed corner as you throw through there. The bumps there in particular make it very hard to get the car to sit down in that area to get an overtake done. But if you get it wrong, coming through turn 16, you're going to be in a world of trouble and you're going to get past going down the back straightaway.
You have to hit 16 right because you cannot afford to give up all the speed down the straightaway. Have to get that one right. So important. And like every corner like that, that backs up 2 or 3 corners before that you got to get right.
Yep.
Get out of your rhythm and you're in trouble. About 4 minutes around here on a pace lap this afternoon as they come back through mission turn number 7. Back up to the front of the field, our Ginetta pace car out in front. Good looking machine with plenty of horsepower, which you need to stay in front of these TA2 cars.
Well, and you said good-looking car. Let's also compliment some of the liveries here that we've seen on the grid. Some new refreshes from the likes of Adrian Lostowski, a brand new look for the likes of Tyler Gonzalez. Mia Lovell's got a great-looking nitro machine. I think the teams have really outdone themselves just in terms of looks on these TA2 cars. It is a pretty-looking grid.
Well, how about a driver to watch here today, DJ? There's so many to choose from, but, I mean, you set a track record, you're the guy to keep an eye on.
Yeah, you really do. This kind of came out of a little bit of nowhere. Skeen had a great run a couple of years ago. He's a race winner. He's a proven force, but I think we wrote him off a little bit coming into this, and I think he definitely put down the marker to beat here. It's going to be interesting to see how defensive he goes into turn 1 if Gonzalez tries to fight around the outside of him, and just what kind of lines he takes. But I think if he can get maybe a second advantage at the front of this field, he may be able to run away with this.
All right, you ready for the first one of the year?
I'm always ready.
Here we go, down the Ullman Straight, behind the Ginetta pace car. Final time before we unleash the anger here at Sebring. Into Sunset. And we are about to start the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Racing Season for 2025. Here they come up onto the front straightaway out of turn 17. Waiting and waiting. There's the green flag, and we're racing at Sebring. Headed into turn number 3, and coming from the outside, Gonzalez making a wild move. Tyler Gonzalez in the old Derek Cope-looking livery goes right to the front of the field. That was a bold move.
And Rafa Matos down to the inside as well, tagging an absolutely monster line to try to get that going as they go through 4 and 5 right now, trying to fan themselves out a little bit. Now we come down into the heavy run, this speed zone where you pick up the draft and you get an overtake done maybe into turn 7.
Headed down to Mission Foods, turn 7. Gonzalez, the first one there. There's the number 90 making his way into the corner a little bit deeper down in the field. That's Thomas Annunziata.
Yeah, Annunziato, one of the drivers that does have a lot of experience, couple of race wins to his name. Watch for him to kind of methodically work his way through the field. That's the way he likes to piece his way forward, is trying to just one by one take things as they come.
Here's Gonzalez right there in that number 10. The same number that Derek Cope ran as well. Of course, that was the 1990 Daytona 500 when Cope won, running that livery on his race car.
Ooh, a little bit of damage.
Yeah, a little body work there, huh? I'm betting that came down in turn 7, probably under braking that first lap.
Yeah, probably just a little bit. Not surprising, heavy braking zone, that can happen when you get down into that area.
Gonzalez carrying a ton of speed through this section, and now onto that long Ullman straightaway.
And we've got a full course yellow, double wave flags.
Yep, we sure do. They'll be seeing that as they come out of turn 17. Field already slowing down. Well, it looks like somebody went around and got going again. Here comes the leaders up onto the front straightaway.
And it looks like here, I mean, I definitely think that Skeen just kind of got jumped a little bit coming into turn 1, and that's what can happen. Gonzalez knew what he had to do, went around the outside, and Rafa Matos, we talked about him starting in that third place position, very aggressive down into the inside. I think that slowed down Skeen just a little bit, but there's the result of the damage. That's the number 18, Jordan Menzen, it looks like.
Yeah, he's got some heavy left front damage to that car. We saw the other car with the damaged rear end, wondering they might have gotten together. Well, that's tough when you've got all that adrenaline pent up and you're ready to go, and you get half a lap in, and then the next thing you know, you're coasting around again.
Yeah, you've got to kind of bring it back under control, but, you know, my background really comes from a world of sim racing, so that's where I apply some of this. But what I was told very early on as I started to be able to get my way forward in sim racing was you've got to let that adrenaline go out the window. You can't let it dictate the way you drive. And I think that may be a little bit of what we saw from the outset of them, to be able to get some of that contact, just drivers feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And some guys like this opportunity, too, to have it. That adrenaline spikes right away when that first green flag of the year comes out, and you're all keyed up, and you get into those first couple of corners, and sometimes an early yellow will help some of those guys calm some of those nerves down, and then they can finally settle into their rhythm a little bit.
Well, and that's such a big key here at Sebring. Because of the bumps, because of the jostling that this car takes, you have to find that rhythm early, because unlike some of the other circuits that we're going to go to over the course of the year, Wackett's Glen, for example, or Lime Rock, or anything like that, where they're relatively smooth racetracks and you can find that rhythm pretty easy, here at Sebring, it's like every corner is trying to disrupt that rhythm. It's trying to throw you off kilter. And so if you're able to find that rhythm despite of that, you're going to really succeed and do well here.
So while we're sitting here under full course caution and seeing Gonzalez's car coming around, so it was the 1990 Daytona 500. Buddy Parent was the crew chief for Derek Cope. Cope is running in second behind race leader Dale Earnhardt Sr., who had not won the Daytona 500 yet. Last lap, Earnhardt's thinking he's going to win his first Daytona 500. I was actually working as a PR guy standing in Earnhardt's pit. The next pit to the left was Derek Cope's pit. They were literally side by side. And as they go down into turn number 3, down the long back straightaway into turn number 3, Senior Earnhardt blows the right front tire. And then number 3, Goodwrench car, goes straight to the wall. And Derek Cope dives to the bottom, gets around him, has 2 corners to go, checker flag, and he's a Daytona 500 winner. And a lot of people gave Derek a hard time about that. Oh, you didn't really earn that. You were there. No, but what they forget is that he ran in the top 5 and in second all day long. And then he later came back and won at Dover, I believe it was, later that year. So he...
There you jump on board and you could hear just how loud these machines are as they come down the back straightaway. And that is when it is under this yellow flag condition. And I got to tell you something, Ralph. I'm going to date myself here. I was an embryo at that point. In 1990, I was
You could have skipped that part of the story there, DJ. I didn't need to hear that.
But I know it well. I've gone back and watched it. I'm a student of the history of racing, so even if I wasn't alive, I definitely knew it. And I'm very jealous that you got to be there for that, because that is
It was quite the experience to have, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat literally
Right
within
there.
2 feet of each other. Yeah, I mean, everybody in that Goodwrench crew was up on the pit wall ready to celebrate, and instead they had to look to the left and watch all the guys in those bright orange Purolator colors that he was running then celebrate instead of them. Be a few more years before Senior finally won that thing, and I was on the CBS crew for that one.
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right, here we are looking at Adam Andretti on board his 41, and he's already
He's
been
gained
getting some
3
laps.
positions.
He's getting a lot of laps in.
Yeah, he is. As Ben mentioned a little bit earlier on the grid, pulling double duty this weekend. He did that a couple of times last year as well. And, we have to remember that, yes, you're still running relatively the same style of race car in between TA and TA2. But this TA2 body, much more restrictive in terms of what is allowed to be done to it. The TA cars that you'll see tomorrow if you join us, absolutely unfettered beasts. They are just ridiculous in the way that they run. And
that would be the reason for our double yellow. We got 2 cars off, one being pulled away right now, and one still getting loaded up.
I think that's Austin Green. That could be him or Doug Peterson. I hope it's not Doug, as Doug already had a pretty significant incident earlier this week in testing, and that would be a very, very rough run for him to get 2 of them like that. And so hopefully all of those drivers are okay. We haven't seen anybody get out.
Looks like it was Gian Buffamonte in the 95. Might have been one of them.
And I saw a 3rd car on the rollback as well, so 3 cars involved in that incident.
Well, that'll bring out a full course caution for sure. You get 3 cars like that scattered around on. About 74, 75 degrees here today. A little cool this morning, but beautiful here this afternoon.
Yeah, very, very chilly this morning. My thin-skinned California self was not having it this morning, but it's come up to a good temperature here and great for these spectators at the track.
Well, let's dip down to the pit lane and catch up with Ben.
All right, I'm here with Nick Tucker, the owner of Nitro Motorsports. Good start so far. Tyler Gonzalez moved his way around Mike Skeen for first, and then last year's Young Guns winner, Thomas Annunziata, has worked his way into 5th. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're in great position right now. We just got to take control of the race here and manage our tires and manage our pace and, just stay out front.
You have a ton of cars here, Nick Tucker, and you've got each team member is assigned to a different driver, and you're kind of here overseeing everything. What are you telling your team members to relay to their drivers?
Well, just to keep them calm, right? Got to finish all the laps, right, to have a good day, and that's what we're preaching to their drivers right now.
Nice. So far, a good start for Nitro Motorsports. Gentlemen, back to you in the booth.
Okay, Ben, and we're getting the numbers that were involved. Dominic Starkweather in the 47 out of Cave Creek, Arizona, so he's the Phoenix area, was involved in that, as well as Buffamonte in that 95 that we brought up, and Doug Peterson in the 87 was also caught up in it, and there were 2 others. DJ, the 34 got involved in there.
That's going to be Patrick Paul, another one of our Pro-Am drivers.
Yep, and then the 18, also Jordan Menzen out of nearby Delray Beach, Florida, involved in that. So that's a shame. 6 cars.
Yeah,
5 or 6 cars.
Definitely tough there for Jordan. You know, this is a home race for a lot of these drivers, or a semi-home race for them. And, you know, you get a lot of the folks that come in that want to support and that kind of stuff. And to have an early off like that, so very tough to deal with. And really hearts go out to Doug Peterson. As I said, this is the second incident he's been involved with over the course of this weekend. Just starting off with a little bit of a stumble here for the 2025 season.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. You know, speaking of that, Mia Lovell, she was here winter testing and was way up at the top of the speed chart, sitting second when they got done with all the testing here at the end of the official season opening tests. So things were looking great for Mia. And then on her last run while she was here, lost control of the car, stuffed it in the wall. And, I mean, that happens. You're pushing hard. You're trying to maximize everything. And did some damage to the car. And the team did a tremendous job of rebuilding the car, freshening the car up, giving her a great race machine to attack the season opening weekend. But she hasn't been able to find that same rhythm in the car that she had when she was testing the car. And that's why she qualified 11th, which I know she said she was happy with. But she showed back in the winter she's got a lot more speed than that 11th.
I know Mia pretty well from the GR Cup Series, and she is lightning quick. There is no two ways about it. Looks like as we look through the order, I think she lost a couple of positions off at the start. Just kind of got a little swallowed up. That happens when it's your first race. We talked about that adrenaline a little bit. It looks like she may be farther down the order right now, but definitely count on Mia to bounce back. She'll be one of those drivers that'll be able to move her way back up through the field here.
Professional skateboarder.
Yep.
How cool is that?
Yeah, professional skateboarder, didn't really get into a kart until less than 5 years ago, and just sort of picked it up and went, oh, I'm really good at this. I ought to give this a shot. She's a great story. She's a really wonderful person to talk to. I've never not seen her with a smile on her face.
There's a vibrant energy when Mia is around. That is for sure. Great young lady. Her father, Mike, is here with her. And I know the family back home in Arizona is tuned in here on Speed Sport 1 watching. Supporting Mia as she tackles round 1 here today at Sebring.
Looks like lights are still on that Ginetta safety car.
Yeah, I think we're going to get another lap probably, huh?
Probably get another lap here. Now, I will say, as we saw a little bit earlier in the IGT race, they can, I believe, the go, no-go point is about halfway down the Ullman Straight, so we could still see it come back on here. But, you know, 5-car incident like that is going to take a minute to clean everything up.
Yeah, and you got to get the blowers over there and get all the stuff off the surface. This is scheduled for 27 laps. Or 75 minutes. So right now we're working more of those minutes than we are the laps, unfortunately. Stay with us. We're coming right back to Sebring.
You've got a business to run. Big.
All right, as we come back to the action, lights are out on the Ginetta safety car, and Tyler Gonzalez will lead Mike Skeen and Rafa Matos around to resume green flag action here from Sebring International Raceway. Oh, but we may go back, as it looks like we've had a car have a problem back on the Ullman straightaway. Oh, and there appears to be maybe a little bit of fire coming out of that car, but green flag is in the air. We are back to racing at Sebring. Diving down into turn 1. There's Mia Lovell streaking by your screen. As we said, farther back in the field, everybody trying to sort themselves out. Gonzalez got a great jump on the rest of the field. He was able to quickly get away from the likes of Skeen and Matos to be able to pull himself away a little bit. Field works their way on through as they get going down through turns 4 and 5, down into 6, and now into that heavy braking zone of turn 7, and Matos on the attack on Mike Skeen.
Matos looking there on that outside, and you really got to check those brakes when you get down. You see everybody dipping the wheel off to the left there, kicking up a bit of a dust storm for those following through at the back end of the field, like the 29 machine there. Meanwhile, the rest of the field all chasing Gonzalez right now.
And look at Matos here, very much on the attack on the back there of Mike Skeen. He is poking and prodding this way and that. He knows the speed that Gonzalez has.
Goes some bodywork flying, DJ.
And I think that was the car that we saw earlier that had it. It just kind of flipped off there.
Yeah, fortunately it went off driver's left, out of bounds, so I don't think anybody will be getting into it over there. Matos heavy on the attack. Here he is looking inside. Skeen tries to cover, but it might have been a little too late for Mike Skeen to protect the position. Yep, Matos got him.
And that's what Matos does best, that quick aggression, that surprise attack. He is on it there. And look, farther back in the field, we've got defensive lines.
All over the place. But then you got to quickly get back into the right position. Here comes Skeen looking inside. Oh, he gets into Rafa. Rafa's around in the final corner and into the tire barriers, and that is not how he wants to begin his chase for the championship in 2025. Out of it early.
No, it looked like he was able to get the car rolling again, so he may be back into the fight here, but probably some bodywork damage going to slow him down a little bit aerodynamically.
Well, if he did get going again, no matter how far up he gets, it's not going to be what second place would have paid him points or a win.
No, and I'm taking...
Oh, and another car off down in turn number 1.
And there you can see on Matos' car that rear wing ajar, so that is going to be I've got to guarantee a meatball flag, a black and orange flag, mandatory come back down into pit lane.
Jared Odrick in the 00 out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania involved. When you look at these cars dancing under heavy braking as they set up for Mission Foods turn number 7.
Yeah, tough break there for Odrick. Great story, great Pro-Am driver. Oh, is there some contact and a big runoff into the dirt.
And just behind that is Matos, and you can see that rear wing completely askew on the back of that silver machine.
Yeah, definitely made contact there with that outside barrier, and that is not going to be an easy day. That's going to throw off his aerodynamics, and as I said, I would not be surprised if we see a black and orange flag there for that.
You want to have a smooth day? Get out front and start pulling away, and that's exactly what Tyler Gonzalez is doing, the driver out of St. Cloud, Florida. He is gapping the rest of the field in that Nitro Motorsports Ford Mustang.
Well, the best thing that Gonzalez can see behind him is a battle, because if you're in a side-by-side battle like we saw between Matos and Skeen, like we're starting to maybe see here with Annunziata and Skeen, that means that they're slowing themselves down, and that's more speed that Gonzalez is able to just maximize on the rest of the field.
Well, every position that Rafa can get here today is going to be better than what it looked like it was going to be. But I just don't know how many he's going to be able to grab, DJ. He really backed it into the wall hard. You're carrying so much speed into that last corner.
Well, and that's the thing about Sunset. It looks like on a map that it's a heavy braking corner, but the way you turn it in, it's gradual. You kind of brush the brakes a little bit. Attack from Annunziata.
Yeah, Annunziata getting all over Skeen as they go down into turn number 1. And then there is the 60 machine right behind him, Boris Set Jr., son of the legend himself. Legend for his driving skills and his hairdo, Boris Set Sr. Set heads around the globe, big fans of Boris. Great guy and a great talent behind the wheel. And his son following in Dad's footsteps.
And following in his hair footsteps as well.
He's
got the same locks as his old man.
Taking a look back behind Annunziata as we see Tristan McKee holding down 4th in the 28, and Austin Green in the 89 sits in 5th just in front of Thomas Merrill, who's one car in front of Boris Set Jr. And there goes Matos with that rear wing flapping in the breeze.
Well, and I think this is a testament to Rafa Matos' driving ability. Not that you didn't need to have it proved already. Oh, the 39 is off coming down into turn 7.
Big problems here for Bob Accardo out of Livermore, California, Bay Area guy. Well, you know, it's such a big field in the first race of the year, not surprised that we're seeing a little bit of carnage out there, right? And again, there goes Matos. Every time you see that rear wing just hanging on there. And going back to that with Matos and Skeen, I don't want to put too much of a hammer on Mike Skeen right away for that moment, too, because they were racing very hard going down into that final corner. And the bumps, as you pointed out before, are so aggressive down there that just hard racing can lead to an unfortunate incident where Skeen certainly wasn't trying to nudge him out of the way so much as he might have just gotten in there a little deeper than anticipated, and the bump sets you off into the back of Matos, and around went Rafa.
Well, and as we just saw drivers come through Sunset, you would think you want to get as close over to driver's right as possible. That's the preferred line, quote unquote, but the reality is the bumps on the inside are worse than they are on the outside, so you try to move that car a little bit to the outside. And I think Mike may have just gotten pinched down there and had that problem happen. Yellow flag in the air. We're back to full course caution.
That we are. Double yellow is out here at start-finish line. And we got one off over here. That would be why. Too far away to get a number. Looks kind of like Corey Day's car. This is the biggest problem Tyler's had all day, and that number 10 is getting the field bunched back up behind him.
Well, I mean, credit to him. Off of that last restart, he ran away with it, just timed it to absolute perfection. Now, the problem is he's going to have to change his strategy off of this new restart. He's going to have to think up something else because Mike Skeen is going to be ready for that acceleration point that Tyler was able to put down. The other thing is I think if Austin Green in 5th place is able to get a run on Tristan McGee, we saw the two of them fighting back and forth a little bit. If Green's able to get that run, he could very well get up into this battle. He's clearly got the speed over McGee, and it's just a question of getting by him.
Here's the 39 visiting pit lane, Bob Accardo, that we talked about earlier. His Mustang.
And changing that right front tire, it looks like. And this does look like it's taken a hot minute here. That's because we're not used to normally doing tire changes during the course of a race like this. They are 5.6 lug nuts like you saw in the old Cup car days. Going in there, not with the speed change guns. It's literally just a power drill that you're putting in there. That's the way that they get these lugs tightened.
It's good to hear that sound of the multi-lug wheel.
It is, isn't it?
Missed that. Down goes the jack, and he'll be released here momentarily.
And that's good that Bob's able to get back out. You know, we'll talk a little bit about it over the course of the weekend more, but he's supporting Make-A-Wish Foundation on his car this year and has a young driver coming, or a young kid coming in, Kevin, who wanted to come to a motor race. He's coming in this weekend.
He's going to do our command
tomorrow, I believe.
Right?
Yeah.
Looking forward to having you here, Kevin. It's outstanding of Bob and his crew to do that. Give Kevin that opportunity.
Yeah.
What a thrill that'll be for him. And what a series to do that to for the first time ever, right?
Oh.
To say those words and then hear that roar that's going to come right after you say it. There goes Corey Day, so it definitely was not him, and he's got Rafa Matos right behind him now. Rafa continues to make his way up the field from dead last to 17th. How about that? That rear wing completely askew. All right, well, we're still under yellow here. We're going to go ahead and take care of some business. Speed Sport 1 will be live right back at Sebring after this.
good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140-mile-an-hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
There's Boris said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zones, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, look out. Miller, look out.
And we are back here live on Speed Sport 1 at Sebring. Yep, guys, that's us with the camera over here. Looks like they're getting that tan going a little bit. That Florida sunshine. It is bright for sure here, but let's head down to the pit lane. Gil Martin is standing by, I believe, with Ben Sissel. Is that right, Ben?
Yeah, perfect, Ralph. Thank you very much. Gil Martin, I'm down here with Silver Hair Racing, and they are heated. Gil, what did you see out there?
Well, I mean, early in the race right there, he had position on with the car right there, and leaving stuck in the tire barrier over there for that many laps. I can understand that they don't want to get out there immediately, but we could have got a yellow sooner than that to get the car in here to work on it, because going down that many laps is a death penalty here. So, I mean, our car was running good. The American Concord flagpole car is on point. So we were looking forward to a good day, but we'll salvage the best we can out of it right here.
Rafa Matos, the most winning driver in Cube 3 Architecture TA2 history. What's he saying to you on the radio?
Well, obviously he's upset because he feels like he had position right there, and he wasn't with a rookie driver. I mean, Mike Skeen ought to know where to be able to control his car right there, and obviously they're racing hard for position, but still, we're only 5 or 6 laps into this race, and I think there should be a little give and take right there in the beginning.
Well, Gil Martin right there. Ralph, back up to you in the booth.
Well, listen, Gil Martin is a legendary crew chief, and he's crew chiefed a lot of great names over the years in NASCAR and over here in Trans Am racing, and I understand what he's saying about having a little bit of patience going down that early in the race. You do. You gotta give your competitors room. Let's take a look at it again. You can see what Gil was talking about as they came down to the end of the Ullman straightaway. Start bearing to the right as they head into, this is a different incident than the one Gil was talking about.
Oh.
Well, that was a big hit. And was that Adam Andretti?
Yes, that's Adam Andretti in the blue. I'm not sure who that silver car was to his outside. I'm assuming it's another silver-haired driver based off of what Gil was saying. But my goodness, that is a hellacious lick to the front of that car. And I just hope both drivers are okay after walking away from that.
Yeah, boy, that was a big hit. Big hit. Drivers doing everything they can to keep a little heat in those tires and keep them clean.
Well, and it may be a balmy and darn near perfect weather out here for us as spectators and fans, but we've got to remember 74 degrees ambient temperature for racing is a little on the chilly side. You're going to have to really work to keep these Pirellis up to temperature, and that weaving back and forth you're seeing, that's not necessarily at these speeds going to be what keeps heat into those tires. It's much more about accelerating and deaccelerating. That's what's going to get the majority of the heat into the tire.
Yeah, you're moving back and forth. Like, not only are you trying for the heat or hoping for the heat, but you're also trying to keep them clean.
Exactly.
All right, Ben, what do you got?
Well, I've got Justin Bowser here with Thomas Merrill. Thomas, I know I didn't get to talk to him, but I know starting 13th, that's not like him, but he's moved his way up to 6th in a Chevy Camaro, which is also not like him. What's he saying on the radio, Justin?
He hasn't really said anything. We've had some transmission problems this weekend. We've since got that figured out. But don't forget, we came a couple years back from dead last on lap 1, came to pass down here in 17 for the win. I don't think we're out. I think we got a pretty fast hot rod, but we just have to see how it shakes out.
Now, you're famous for shouting out somebody. You got to shout them out.
Well, my parents are here. My dad's over here. My mom's up there. I doubt my dog's watching.
Well, I love it. Well, Thomas Merrill, you know, a quiet Thomas Merrill on the radio means he is hooked up. So watch out for Thomas Merrill. Move up through.
Yeah, we fully expect that, Ben, for sure. Thomas Merrill is a talented young man.
Yeah, he certainly is. And as his crew chief was saying there a couple of years ago, coming from dead last in the pack to be able to make a last corner pass for the win, we know he's got the pedigree. We know he's got the skill to be able to do it. He's up in 6th, directly behind that battle we were talking about a little bit earlier between Green and McKee. There you can see him on your screen in that blue number 26 machine. I think we may have to watch out for Thomas here off this restart.
Just thinking about Skeen sitting back there in second place. Boy, this is the moment that he really needs to capture to find a way around our race leader, Tyler Gonzalez, because right now Tyler is showing no signs of weakness.
It's a little bit of deja vu all over again for me. As I mentioned with him winning GR Cup 2 years ago, I say win.
He won almost everything that year, didn't he?
He sealed it up by our penultimate round. He was absolutely insane, and this is reminiscent of that performance.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a look. We think we have that highlight for you, the replay of the incident. There it is, getting down into turn 17. You can see Matos on the outside and Skeen on the inside, and it didn't take much when you got so much of that car leaning over on the left as you're turning to the right and just tap that rear end a little bit, and around he went.
Yeah, and I do have to agree with a little bit of what was said down on pit lane. If that was a move 2 laps to go in the race,
yeah, 100%.
I'd have a little bit more leeway about it. But you've got a lot of time to fight here. Give up the ghost, come back later on.
Yeah, the only thing I was saying is I don't think he did it intentionally, right? It was hard driving, hard racing by 2 very talented drivers, but just maybe a little too hard too early.
Exactly, and I fully agree with that, yeah.
Last lap, race winner, a championship on the line, gloves are off, right?
Oh, my goodness gracious, yeah.
Annunziata sits back there in 3rd. Car number 90, Colts Neck, New Jersey driver. Started 4th. He's got one of those Nitro Motorsports Ford Mustangs. This is a good opportunity for him to maybe get that nose in front of Skeen and grab a spot. When Skeen's so focused on Gonzalez, maybe Nunziata can take advantage of that.
Well, but the one caveat I will give to that is the same problem we talked about a little bit earlier. You've got to make that move quickly.
Yes.
You can't sit there and have a prolonged battle through 1 into 2, 3, and 4. Otherwise, Gonzalez will skip down the road. You have to really pick your battle here. And even though Annunziata is a young gun, he has shown the maturity that he'll know how to do that. So watch out for him a little bit. Watch out for his ability to maybe work his way forward in a smart way.
I honestly do not know how Rafa's wing is still on the back of that car.
Even at these speeds, it's flopping a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's well, and we've got to remember here, the reason the rear wings are where they are on these machines is because the incredible amount of horsepower that's going through those rear tires. They are there to push the car down as you get onto the loud pedal. Very, very difficult to control the throttle without having that downforce to help it. As we see here, the number 43, that's Jacob Yesnick down in pit lane.
You got the hood off on that one, too. It looks like they're looking at the left side of the car. Hard to tell if it's jacked up, isn't it, on that side, because it looks pretty flat. but they got a tire coming off, so I guess at one point it was jacked up.
It also goes to show you just the amount of suspension travel that is specifically needed here at Sebring International Raceway, that there's that much give in the car that it looks relatively flat, even though that tire is off the ground. It clearly has just been changed. I want to give some love here to two of our rookies in the field, currently 10th and 11th. We talked about them. We talked to them on the grid, and that is Valentino Huare and Eaton Thornborough, two international drivers from Argentina and Australia, respectively, making their way into the series. They're having a pretty uneventful race here for this round, which is absolutely fantastic. That's what you want to have, just uneventful, slowly but surely moving your way through the field. Thornborough, obviously no real stranger to these cars, having run TA2 in Australia, but very, very new at Sebring and this American style of racing, and Huare as well, new into the sport. And so credit there to both of those drivers. They're having a good day. Just keeping their noses clean. And I think for a first time here at Sebring, that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, I totally agree. Talking about Valentine, if I'm not mistaken, his nickname's Torpedo?
I believe that's correct, yeah.
Now that could be good.
Could also
or
be the
bad.
Daniel Kvyat Torpedo.
Yeah, I mean, right now Mike Skeen's nickname could be Torpedo too, right? At least given to him by Rafa. But, you know, just joking around there a little bit with Mike. All right, let's go back down trackside. Here's Ben one more time.
All right, I'm with Billy Harrison. I was talking to Adrian yesterday, and he says he only races well at the tracks that have green grass. Well, luckily we're at Sebring in February. The grass is green. He's in the top 10. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, got a good car. He's happy with it. So far we had a little bit of bump in there at the beginning, but it was just tight racing. Now we're going to continue trying to save our tires and let these guys in the front run theirs off, and we'll see what happens.
What's he saying on the radio? Is Adrian calm on the radio usually?
He's always calm. He doesn't get excited too much. He seems to be pretty happy with the car. I think the heat makes him feel like we're not quite the power that we want, but I think he's just stressing out a little bit about that. But he's calm. He's always calm.
Nice, I love it. Well, there's Billy from Fast Auto Racing. Adrian Laskowski, gentlemen, back to you.
Well, I've got to say this once because I had a nice conversation with Adrian yesterday. You know, one of the things you do as an announcer is you attempt to get as many names correct as you can, and you always want to hear it from the driver or the rider, depending on if it's 2 or 4 wheels. And the thing about it is, I always go with whatever the driver wants. Mm-hmm. It's his name. Yeah. If it's Smith and he wants you to call him Jones, hey, it's Jones. That's what it's his name, right? So Adrian told me that if I said his last name, he didn't care how it was said. He had 3 different pronunciations and said, I don't care if it's either one of these 3. I said, well, I want yours. And he goes, well, I'll tell you what. He said, if you say it this way, you'll make everybody of Polish descent thrilled that you said it this way, which he told me is Vostowski. Vostowski. Like a V.
Okay.
So Vostowski. So for all of our Polish friends out there, I hope we did you proud.
There you go. Yeah, that's always one of the interesting things as commentators, because even with the most common of names, there's just a weird cultural misappropriation through the years that, you know, somebody wrote it wrong on an entry form into the country or something like that that changed the pronunciation.
Had that happen with my family's last name. My grandparents coming in through Ellis Island, and Our last name should have been spelled S-H-A-H-E-E-N. That's more of the traditional way. But whoever did it made the A look like that first A look like an E, and it got, stamped through, and there it is, 3 E's all the way through. So because of that, my name is constantly mispronounced by hostesses at restaurants who say, Sheehan party of 4, whatever it might be.
I always joke growing up that you had to try really hard to mispronounce
Yeah,
my
you
name.
did. Well, Rafa right there, Matos, in the silver machine, one of those that has suffered some damage here today. There's been a lot of carnage around the racetrack. Let's show you, since we're still under yellow, why we are dealing with this lengthy caution period. This one involved about 5 cars, DJ.
Yeah, pretty heavy right off the downbeat of the race. Not altogether unsurprising, as you do see a lot of comings together on this racing circuit coming down in. This was the one that surprised me. That was the number 34, Patrick Hall.
Yeah, and then this was the one everybody's talking about because it was a battle for second very early on in the race. This one was the hardest hit, and that was the Adam Andretti hit.
Yeah, and hope Adam's okay.
Yeah.
As that was a particularly vicious crash. Thankfully, though, you could see, it's a little blurry there from one of our RoboCams, but you could see the crumple zone doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Car deforming in the proper way. Thing I always tell folks when they come into racing for the first time, love this drone shot, by the way.
Yes.
If you see a car hit the wall and nothing moves on it,
that's a problem.
That's when you get scared. If there's a billion pieces flying off, that's actually good. That's energy dissipation.
That's 100% correct. What do they say? It's not the speed that gets you, but the sudden stop.
Yep. I think that's a Clarkson quote from way
Yeah.
back when.
All right, Ben, I know we're keeping you busy down there on pit lane. What have you found this time?
Kevin Allen here with 3-Dimensional Services Group. Austin Green is also running the Xfinity with 3-Dimensional Services Group. They're just here getting seat time, but he is in 5th place and moving quick.
Yeah, Austin's real happy with the car. We struggled a little bit with drive off, especially yesterday, but the car's pretty good, and he's happy. He feels he's got pace on Tristan right there in front of him, so it should be interesting.
Austin is always super calm. Is he always that calm on the radio, too, when heat's on high on the track?
He has a pretty flat affect on the radio, but you can tell when he's not happy.
Nice. I love that. You can tell when he's not happy. Back to you, gentlemen.
I like that as well, Ben. Well, just so you know, if you're counting at home, yes, this race was scheduled for 27 laps or 75 minutes, and we have spent quite a bit of that with our Ginetta leading the field. Unfortunately, great car to look at, but we'd like to see some racing action. They're getting close to being ready to go, and I can tell you also, DJ, there's at least 30 minutes still of green flag racing time left to go if we can get back to green quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit close on time. We're technically 15 laps to go, give or take 2 minutes a lap. We may be into that time window, but there will at least be 30 more minutes of racing. And if you do like what you see, make sure to tune back in with us tomorrow because you'll be able to see the TA and GT series on the track as well.
And historic Trans Am.
Oh, that's
all
right.
being covered here on Speed Sport 1 live from Sebring, and we are thrilled to be a part of that. Have you had a chance to sneak the keys to the Ginetta yet?
No, they won't let me near that.
They don't let you anywhere near it? They see you coming, next thing you know, it starts up and moves away?
Exactly. No, there's a reason why they keep me up here in the booth and don't let me go out and play with the toys.
Yeah, probably smart.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been around this racetrack in a car. You know, one of the perks we have being in the media is you get opportunities quite a few times to get in a car, go for a pace lap or something. And it's always beneficial because you see the angles of the corners and you feel the bumps and you hear and you see things that everybody talks about, but to actually experience it is different when it comes to your broadcasting. But this is one venue. I don't know why, but I just have never had, we need to fix that. Never had a chance to get around.
I've done it in a golf cart.
Yeah. That doesn't count.
It doesn't, but
you need to speed.
The full. But it still gives you an idea of just how big the bumps are.
Oh yeah. Well, things are going to get a little bumpy here maybe in a little bit. Looks like the yellows have been pulled in. Lights are off on the Ginetta Pace car, and we are getting close to going back to green. So we should have close to 30 minutes of racing left to go at full tilt. These guys can keep it clean, guys and gals can keep it clean. Coming up onto the front straightaway. Starter waving, waiting. Green flag, we're racing at Sebring once again, live on Speed Sport 1. Gonzalez trying to work his way through the gearbox quickly to pull away from the pack. Skeen trying to hang in tight. And Annunziata right there with him.
And Austin Green definitely trying to send a move on Tristan McGee as well. 2x2 farther back in the field as they try to get themselves leveled out going through Cube 3, Turn 1.
Good start by Corey Day. He's back there right now in 16th, moving that HendrickCars.com machine up through the field. There he goes. And look at Gonzalez already. He's got a car length, it looks like, between him and second place Skeen, and Skeen's heavily under attack from behind.
Yeah, and driving defensively there down into Submission Foods turn 7. I don't know if that was necessarily warranted. That probably slowed him down a little bit and let Gonzalez take another 10th into that lead.
Working their way towards the back section of the racetrack now, through the bends here. Gonzalez has been so smooth in that number 10 today.
Yeah, and driving it just to the limit. Oh no!
And another one off.
That's Mia Lovell.
It is Mia, the Nitro car. Hate to see that. As we said, it's been a bit of a frustrating weekend for her. Came into the weekend with so much promise. And here's Annunziata diving to the inside. New second place car.
Oh, that was a brilliant move from Annunziata. Knew that Skeen was going to try to defend at any point that was a traditional overtaking opportunity. Now he's just got to defend coming into Sunset.
Yep, because Skeen is right there with him, trying to work that draft, trying to hang on to his tail. And right now, Thomas starting to pull away. Skeen's car was record pace fast in qualifying, but in race trim, it just does not seem to have the same kind of speed that he had in qualifying. And guess what? That double yellow is out again.
No, it really doesn't. It just kind of seems like it's a little...
It's quick. It's just not blisteringly fast. Easy for me to say.
I think what's going to be interesting, though, is now off of this restart, we've seen Skeen, frankly, struggle to try to keep pace with Gonzalez off of the restarts. Now, with Annunziata up into second place, I wonder how that's going to change the dynamic of the restarts. If now maybe we're going to see Annunziata be able to attack Tyler Gonzalez more than we'd seen previously.
Ben's ready to update us on one of the teams. Take it away, Ben.
I'm with Scott Lagasse Jr. And Scott and I have this relationship. Every once in a while, he's like pulls me aside and says, I have a talent. And I have to listen to because he's brought in Sam Rosak. And now he's brought in this 14-year-old Tristan McKee. And wow, Scott, what is he saying on the radio? Up to 4th place and doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to take credit for finding those talents, but it's Lauren Rainier, General Motors, Josh Wise, Scott Speed. They really, it's a joy to work with them or work for them, and the talent they bring is awesome. Tristan, to be as mature as he is, 14 years old, is incredible. The speed's there. It's been a really good weekend for us with the different drivers that we have, all from diverse backgrounds, for them to look at each other, work together. Skiing's been a phenomenal tool for Tristan as well. So very proud of GM and what they're created here. As a program in general, so we just need laps. We came here with a mission with him of just let's be there at the end, and so we're set up to run long run car, and it's not working in our favor, but he's head down. He'll figure it out.
Now, when people from GM or the likes of Jeff Gordon, Kyle Larson call you and say, we really want you to help develop this driver, what does that mean?
It really means that I screwed a lot of things up and they just want me to teach them what not to do. The kids are talented. You don't need to teach them how to go fast. It's just it's a huge honor, right? Those are people that I've looked up to. I've been a part of the family for a long time, and we're really proud to be a part of the GM family.
Nice. Well, how about that? Scott Lagasse Jr. with an unbelievable driver development program in partnership with GM, and they're currently in 4th place with a person that's 2 years away from an actual driver's license.
It's hard to believe how young some of these kids are starting out these days, and Scott Lagasse Jr., tremendous talent in his own right, and son of a true wheelman in Scott Lagasse.
Yeah, it just seems like these kids keep getting younger and younger and younger, and the talent pool keeps getting deeper and deeper. It's really quite remarkable. But good news, I just saw the lights go out on that Ginetta safety car. We're going to be back to green this time around.
I like it. All right, here we go. See if Gonzalez can survive another hurricane storm of cars coming up from behind at the green. He was great on the start, on that restart, quick through the gearbox, and that made all the difference getting into one comfortably. Then that gives you the ability to comfortably pick your line through one instead of having to watch that mirror and defend the whole time, which is kind of what I think happened to Skeen when he got over turn 7, and then Annunziata was set up to get through there shortly thereafter.
Now, the one thing that's going to be a little bit different here is the 95 of Gian Buffalmante. That's a lapped car in front of your leader. Oh, yellow flags are back out.
I think he was going to the pits. Yellow back out?
Yeah. May just be a reordering issue there with Buffalmante, to be completely frank.
Well, even though it's cool out here today, sitting inside those cockpits in those suits, it's getting a little warm inside the cockpit, I'm betting, for each of these drivers.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you've got to consider that the multitudes of heat and exhausts that are coming out of the front of these cars, they are front-engine, rear-wheel drive cars, so that sort of standard performance package that you see in a lot of even high-performance street cars. So definitely changes things up a little bit. You've got to be there. You've got to be in peak physical condition. And for a lot of these drivers, they will be wearing cool suits or cool shirts or something like that to make sure that their body temperature is well regulated.
Let's get a little bit more on our second place car of Thomas Annunziata. Here's Ben.
Yeah, thank you. I'm here with a NASCAR legend, Ron Auto. What's Thomas Annunziata saying on the radio, Ron?
Not much about the race car or his drive. He's just upset that it's taken so long with all these cautions. He's ready to go. We got a good race car, so hopefully we get back to green.
Well, last year's Young Guns winner, Thomas Annunziata, very fast. Back to you.
Well, Ben, I can tell you that it looks like, I just heard from Jeff Catlin from Mia Lovell's team, and it looks like they think the clutch came apart, and that was the problem putting her out of the race, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's a real heartbreak for Mia, but she'll be back. She's got a full season schedule this year with Nitro, so she'll be rearing to go, I think, and keep an eye out for her, especially in that Young Guns title this year.
There were quite a few races last year where she was the fastest female in the entire GR Cup Series.
Almost exclusively, It was her pretty much across the board.
And there's quite a few quick girls racing in that series.
There were some very,
ladies.
very quick ones. I made the joke with Mia at one point that I needed her to have a bad race because I was getting bored calling her name on the podium.
Good problem to have, right?
Exactly. Yeah, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah. Well, let's see if we go back to green this time. Looks like the flags are pulled in here at the main flag stand. Lights are off on the Ginetta pace car. We're going to try this again.
And I love this image. You see all the drivers weaving back and forth, trying to get their tires up to temperature. Not for Gonzalez. Gonzalez is laser focused ahead. He wants that green to come out. He wants to clinch this victory.
Gonzalez, Nunziata, and Skeen, your top three. Down into turn 17. It's a long train winding through Sunset. Waiting for the green, waiting for the green. Up onto the front straightaway, no green. Now it is! Wave, and we are racing. And Gonzalez already trying to gap Annunziata as we head down to turn number 1. Gonzalez again was quick on the restart, pulled the trigger nice and fast, and he's going to lead into turn number 1.
A little bit of wide running. Car spun around.
One around, two around. Couple off into the dirt. Another car going around as well. We keep racing at the front of the field for now.
And Merrill's been able to get a move on Austin Green, move him up into 5th place. There's the 39 spun around. That's Bob Accardo again.
Yep. He's had a bumpy day, hasn't he? Meanwhile, Gonzalez right on those brakes, doing a nice job quickly getting back onto the gas. A little side-by-side racing there going down to the Mission Foods turn number 7. You saw the 8 car involved in there, and boy, you're hearing a lot of tire squeal, and a couple of cars collecting more damage as they go through one of the slower sections of the racetrack. That 8 was Carson Brown, the driver out of London, North Carolina. But look at Gonzalez already. 2 car lengths, car length and a half.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely putting the pressure down. And, we mentioned this a little bit earlier. We weren't sure if it was going to be Annunziata able to keep the pressure to him, but Gonzalez just weathering that up and pulling away now.
Gonzalez ran this race last year, finished 2nd. Looking to do one spot better here today, and he's well on his way.
Oh, but he's got to be careful. There's a hard charger in the back of the pack. That's Thomas Merrill. We already mentioned he got around Austin Green. He was making a little bit of a move on Tristan McKee there. Not able to get it done, but I think Merrill's coming on.
Oh, and the double yellows are out again. DJ, I think you're bad luck.
Yeah, it's me. It's 100% me.
It's got to be. Another car off here and in an impact zone.
Yeah, I think that's on the exit, or on the entry rather, of turn 2 and 3, that little area. Can't get a fully positive ID on the car.
Stop number 2 for the tour is going to be, for the full national tour, will be at Road Atlanta coming up in March.
Yeah, that'll be good. These TA2 cars in particular race really well at Road Atlanta. The kind of the polar opposite when you think about it from Sebring International Raceway. rolling hills, a lot of compression in the cars. A very physically demanding circuit, but demanding in a different way than Sebring.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it will challenge your courage for sure.
Oh. There is nothing more terrifying than coming out of 10A and 10B and keeping your foot to the floor through the final corner and praying as you crest over the bridge that the car is going to stick.
Yeah. Got a replay coming our way. We are heading into turn 1. This is the one that involved 2 or 3 cars as we went back to green. One of them being the 97, Tom Sheehan. And then there was this incident over here. Is that the 98? Doug Winston, North White Plains, New York. Right there.
Yeah, there you can see it. That
he was getting into another car. I'm not sure who.
A lot of scruffy action in the field today. Is there we see that's the number 71 that is the reason for the caution being out. That's Eric Caton from Greenwood, Ray Skillman Auto Group Ford Mustang.
We're going to take a quick break here, but we'll be back for more live on Speed Sport 1.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.
Welcome back to live coverage of the Trans Am presented by Pirelli Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series season opener in the legendary Sebring International Raceway. Ralph Shaheen, DJ Clark, and Ben Sissel with you as another one gets loaded up on the rollback. Unfortunately, we've been seeing a lot of scenes like that this afternoon as it's the first race of the year for this category. We have a lot of cars, a lot of aggressive drivers, and that combination can cause a lot of yellows.
Yeah, it can, and we saw that big bunch of carnage coming down into turn 1 off of that last restart. I think for that number 71 of Eric Caton, it looked like there was maybe just kind of a side knock, and it maybe got something a little bit cockeyed in the car, maybe just broke something on the interior, as there didn't appear to be a whole lot of exterior damage on that car. So hopefully we'll be able to get them back down into pit lane and get everything solved here. Looks like about 9 more minutes left on the clock, so that's at least a couple of laps of good green flag racing to see if anybody's got anything for Tyler Gonzalez today.
Yeah. Well, you know the old saying, cautions breed cautions, right?
That they do.
Caution flags are in. It looks like the lights are off on the pace car, too.
All right, so we will be going back to green this time around. Good to see that, as we will be able to hopefully finish this race under green.
There goes Corey Devine. Corey started the afternoon. Let's see here. Just looking at that. There he is. He started 23rd, and right now he's up to 16th. So he's gaining some ground.
That's a pretty good gain of positions. There's obviously attrition playing into that a little bit, but nevertheless, if you're able to keep things together and keep it going, that's the way you want to be.
Yeah, first time out, I'd say that's a pretty productive afternoon.
For sure.
All right, lights are definitely out on the pace car. The field is formed up in a single file line, but it's a long one. And we'll be looking for the green flag again. Onto the front straightaway, waiting. Green flag! Gonzalez quick through the gears again. That thing bites fast too, doesn't it? I mean, it's one thing to hammer the throttle, but you got to get some grip out of that thing, especially late in the race like this, and he's getting all of it. Look, he's already opened up a car length lead on Annunziata, who still sits in front of Skeen. Oh, a little tire smoke going down there into turn 3.
A little bit of dirt kicked up coming through 4 and 5.
Yeah, everybody dipping wheels through here. Now it's more dirt coming under the Mission Bridge, and we head to Mission turn number 7. Gonzalez, first one there, hard under braking in his Ford Mustang.
Tristan McKee trying to get a move on Mike Skeen, not going to get it done.
And the leader dips a wheel. I think that's really the first mistake of any kind I've seen Gonzalez make. And another one around, the 61 machine. Right there, hard under the brake, and that's Roberto Sabato out of Bonita Springs, Florida.
May have to destroy that Mission Foods banner to get himself going again, but he's got it in reverse. He's going to get back going.
Got it fired up and rolling. Well, you can hear those Pirellis fighting for all the grip they can give these drivers. They're being pushed to their limits for sure.
Well, we heard earlier from Adrian Lostowski's team, Lostowski, thank you. We heard from his team talking about how they were trying to save the tires for the end of the race. I think that strategy out the window. Merrill on McKee down into turn 16.
Yeah, when you've only got 9 minutes or whatever you said of racing left, we're probably down to about 7 now. There's no need to save anything. You've got what you got, go get what you can. Gonzalez getting everything he can out of his car. They're going to when this race is over and they roll out of victory lane, if he's lucky enough to stay in this position, they're going to take that thing back to the paddock, to the truck, wipe it down, put a cover on it, and go to dinner.
Yep.
See you tomorrow. No need to touch this one. Look how that nose is just planted going all the way down the straightaway. You can see it lifting a little bit here and there, but boy, you can see when it settles, they got it down. They're getting all the airflow underneath that car working the way they want it.
Yeah, I mean, that car is absolutely hooked up.
Oh, DJ, we saw one go off there, and it looks like somehow everybody drove through that, because I thought for sure we were going to pile 10 cars into one.
Well, that's the most terrifying thing as a driver when you come down into that, is Rafa Matos tries to send a big move there on the 17 of Corey Day. When you come into a braking zone like that, or an acceleration zone, and it is just a fog cloud ahead of you. Oh, is there some move? That's going to be green on McKee.
Pulls it off. Oh, and around goes the 12, and it looks like Matos went past as well. That's the torpedo there, Valentine Aguirre. And Matos gets going again, and I was just about to say with Rafa, he was right behind Corey Day. They were running 15th and 16th. Matos has fought his way all the way up to 16th. So he might have a little more work cut out in front of him again, get some of those spots back. But considering how his day began, Rafa could find his way into the top 15, that would be impressive.
I'd call that a win. After a day like this, I would certainly call that a win. 61 there, that's Sabato. We saw him spun around the other way just to confirm confirmation that he has been turned back around.
Well, as they always say with the first race of the season, you can't win the championship on the opener, but you can certainly lose it. And I think Rafa probably felt at the time like his shot had gone right spitting out of turn 17. But boy, he has fought back like the true champion that he is.
Certainly has there. A lot of debris down the Ullman Straight there, but relatively equidistant among our top three here with Gonzalez, Annunziata, and Skeen.
Which is interesting to say and to see because that's the only spot on the racetrack I don't think we've seen an incident.
Well, but if we think about it, we've got
falling off.
Yeah, that's the highest speed portion of the track, so it's flopping around in the wind and breaks off there at that point. But you're totally right. And there's some more
our
debris.
Signs. Mission food sign getting floated around here. Mr. Gonzalez will like that. Anything to get a little exposure, right? He'll be happy. Everybody at the front of the field seeming to hold until right here where things start to get a little bit twitchy. The 70 car getting a little bit aggressive. Sam Corey out of Cornelius, North Carolina.
Yeah, Corey trying to make that move through 4, 5, and into 6. We talked earlier, that's a tricky area to get anything done. Going to try now to go around the outside of that number 60 machine of Boris Said Jr. Said's going to hold on to it.
Yeah, there just wasn't any space there to get that done. You're so hard on the brakes and you're just running out of turf.
Well, and the problem with that is, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, this is a very flat track. And even in those corners, there's no real camber in them to be able to run that high line.
Nothing to hold you down.
Yeah.
Whatever traction you got between your tires and the asphalt.
Exactly.
That's all you got to work with here. No camber, no banking, no nothing.
Nope.
Onto the Ullman straightaway. Just imagine what it must have been like seeing those B-17s and B-24s landing on these long straightaways here.
Right. Well, because that's what this course was originally designed.
Hendricks Airfield.
Hendricks Airfield, and it was run around the ring roads around the circuit, and then over time, it's still an active runway. As the white flag is in the air, white flag, 1 lap to go.
1 to go. Tyler Gonzalez. Second place here a year ago, comes back to Sebring, and he's looking for all the glory here this afternoon. Good look at the 3 car of Adam Vostovsky. Adrian, I should say. I get the last name right and I mess up the first name. How about that? Sorry, Adrian. Adrian Vostovsky having a good run, and Adrian is sitting in, there he is, 6th.
That's a really good run for Adrian.
That's a great run, yeah. He'll be happy with that as a start to the
something
season.
happened to Gonzalez.
He sure did. He has slowed way down. There he is. And as we said, you can never count it till it's all done, right? Gonzalez, who has absolutely dominated this day, now is dropping. He's got to be at least, what, 6th or 7th?
Yeah, somewhere down in that category.
I wonder if he dipped a wheel that again and couldn't gather it back up quick enough. Well, there's your new leader. Annunziata out front. Thomas Annunziata looking to claim the win here and steal one away from Tyler Gonzalez. Annunziata, Thomas finished 4th here last year. Today, maybe on that top step of the podium.
I think it's something a little bit more for Gonzalez. I think that's mechanical because he's not anywhere in the top 10.
Out onto the Ullman straightaway for the final time here today in green flag conditions. Thomas Annunziata. Yeah, there's your top 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gonzalez is way back. He's outside the top 10.
Something broke on that car.
For sure. Final corner, final trip through turn 17. coming off onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag. Thomas Annunziata will win the season opener here at Sebring International Raceway for the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli Cube 3 Architecture TA2 race.
My goodness gracious, what drama on the last lap. Great job for Mike Skeen to hold on to second, and a good drive up through the field for Austin Green.
I still haven't seen Gonzalez. I don't think he's going to make it all the way around.
I don't think he is
I think
either.
He pulled off. What a shame.
Also looks like slow car coming out of the final corner. That's Corey Day.
Yeah. Well, and I guess Gonzalez's crew guys can't go to dinner just yet. They're going to have to do a little more now than just wipe it down and put the cover on it.
The commentator's curse is alive and well.
Yep. Yep, sure is. Sorry, Tyler. Boy, I mean, I would have, and it's the whole reason why I don't bet, because I would have put everything on that at that point in this race, that he had this one all locked down. And for a race that was slow in developing, it sure finished with some drama, didn't it?
It sure did. My goodness. And look at this. Noah Harmon in the number 7. That Streetside Classic Flanagan Chevrolet Camaro. Where did he come from? Up into 5th place. Great drive for Noah.
Mike Skeen started on the pole with a record run, ends up getting involved in a little controversy early on. He fights back to hold on to second. And then Austin Green will take third, and then Adrian Vostovsky gets 4th, and Harmon, as you said, finishes 5th. Borisset Jr. crosses the line in 6th. Tristan McKee 7th. Carson Brown with a good afternoon in 8th. Oh, and Corey Day's car is on fire. That's why he was limping to the checkered flag. He is out of the car safely. His father, Ronnie, is here this weekend watching. Ronnie, an old 410 wing sprint car racer from out west and a flat track motorcycle racer.
Oh.
Yeah. Known Ronnie for years. A couple of NorCal guys. And they're going to quickly extinguish the flames on Corey's HendrickCars.com machine. Not sure where that fire originated. It looked like maybe it was something in the rear end of the car, maybe more than under the hood.
Yeah, it looked like it was coming particularly off of the right rear. I wonder if there's an exhaust maybe.
Or if something locked up in there. And
and it just
friction and the heat finally got the best of it.
Maybe.
Well, let's finish our top 10 there. I think we left off at Carson Brown in 8th. Sam Corey finishes 9th, and Julian DaCosta rounds out the top 10. And how about this? Rafa Matos went all the way from the lead to the tail, wing is skewed all day and everything, and fights his way back up to finish 11th, just in front of the torpedo.
And I'll tell you what, Ralph, that is the drive of a champion. We talk so often about, oh, you got to rack up wins. That's not how you win championships. It's maximizing your worst day. And
Absolutely.
if Rafa's worst day is contact and 11th, he's in for another shot at the title.
That is huge. He will be very frustrated, but relieved at the same time, because the points differential could have been even bigger.
Very, very much so.
Well, these guys will be back to do it again tomorrow, right?
No, this is it for
That's
TA2.
That's it for the day.
We'll only run one for TA2, but we have the historic Trans Am coming up later today, as well as Trans Am coming up tomorrow. You'll see some of the same drivers that will cross over a little bit.
Hopefully we see Adam Andretti.
Yeah, hopefully. We don't know the status on him after that very, very brutal hit. Hopefully Adam's okay.
Yeah. Historic Trans Am coming up here shortly in about an hour. And we got some more SVRA competition yet to go today. Trans Am will be out for qualifying late this afternoon. And then tomorrow, Trans Am fairly early in the day, about 10:45 a.m. So you West Coasters, get a good night's sleep tonight. Set that alarm. And then historic Trans Am in the middle of the afternoon.
Here
comes the car that looked like it was heading to our Jim Wheat victory lane, but instead it's getting towed back to the paddock. I'm just stunned. I'm
It's the
absolutely
worst
stunned.
feeling in the world. As a driver, as a fan, as just someone who follows the sport, having this kind of thing happen, this is not the way you want to see a motor race end.
It's the reverse of the story I told you at the beginning of the day. If you go back to the 1990 Daytona 500, Derek Cope was the recipient of the bad karma that hit Dale Earnhardt Sr. when he cut the tire down, crashes in turn 3, and Derek goes on to win his first and only Daytona 500. And here we are with the throwback paint scheme, the livery to honor that Purolator number 10, Tyler Gonzalez running, and he led all day and ends up on the very last lap being the reason why we now will celebrate Thomas Annunziata in victory lane here at Sebring.
It's
I guess you need to pick and choose your throwback paint schemes appropriately, right?
Yeah.
Well, Ben, the cars are making their way back to pit lane. I'm sure things are getting busy down there.
Won this race. It looked like he had a mechanical failure of some sort, but it's heartbreaking for them. So I'm upset that happened, but it's a win for us after all the hard luck we had last year and trying to win the championship last year, which didn't happen. This is an amazing start to the season. So 2025 starts great, and it's all down to the Nitro Motorsports guys. They're amazing. They're an absolutely amazing group, and I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Thomas Annunziata there, unbelievable. Let's find some of these other gentlemen here. Austin Green, great race out there here at the end at Winter Circle. How does it feel?
Oh, it's great to be back in the Trans Am Series, and all the Peterson Racing guys and 3D Motorsports group, they busted their tails all off season and this weekend. So we kind of put ourselves in a bad spot there with qualifying, and I don't know. I guess we learned how to do restarts for a while. So I was just kind of hoping for a long run. Never really got to feel the car out, but I know we're always really strong at the end. And just can't thank Doug Pearson enough and the Motorsports group.
Nice job. Three-Dimensional Services Group back in the Winter Circle at Sebring. Let's come over and talk to Mike Skeen with Cube 3 Architecture on his car. Franklin Road Apparel. Mike Skeen back in Winter Circle at Sebring. How's it feel?
Honestly, a little disappointing. I mean, happy to be here on the podium, finish second for the Team SLR guys, and, so far this is a one-off, so hopefully we should be enough to come back. We'll find some sponsorship and try to race these guys some more, but yeah, we just didn't have a car to fire up on all those restarts. We needed a little bit more green flag running, and we didn't get that today, so those Nitro guys would get off, really quick, had a lot of pace. I don't know what happened to Gonzalez there. Feel bad for him leading the whole thing and not getting the win, but happy to be here. Big thanks to Guthrie's Garage and everybody that helped put this deal together, and hopefully we can find some more to come back.
Nice. I love it, Mike Skeen. Now, first in Pro-Am, Barry Bowes, the Accio Data car, and, putting it first, right, in Pro-Am?
Actually, last lap I got spun, and I dropped back to second in Pro-Ams.
Oh, I didn't get to see that. So who won Pro-Am?
So I believe Keith over here, he was there, and he took advantage of it, popped right in front of me, so I believe he's number one, and I think I'm in second.
Well, how was your race out there?
It was a lot of fun. We had way more caution time than I wanted, but every restart was very aggressive, very challenging. Right, you had to challenge the cars in front of you while the guys behind you were challenging you too. And then you had to sit in a super hot, overheating car for several laps while they cleaned up the mess, and then take on the same challenge again. And that's it. I didn't like the cautions, but it's one of the most fun races I've run.
Nice. I love it. Barry Bowes always having fun out here. And I didn't have great communication there at the end, but my friend Keith Project, HP Tuners, always hard fought in the Pro-Am, and you're here at the top step.
Yeah, it was another one of those races where you have to keep the car to be competitive at the end, and we got kind of lucky. Barry was the class of the field today, but I don't know, there might be a penalty with me, but I still crossed the line first, so we'll see what happens.
So you're provisionally first, you're self-admitting.
Yeah, well, I think I was in the right. They wanted me to come in, and there's no way I'm coming in because I'm going to lose all my spots, and I got brake checked on the restart. What am I supposed to do? And the first restart, I just got freight trained, and everyone got away with it. So, yeah, we'll see. I'll make my case, but, we drove hard. The Cope car was great, and, thanks to the team.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Keith Project for being honest like that. Who doesn't like an honest driver here in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series? And then Jared Odrick, where is he? I believe he was, there he is. Black underwear, Jared Odrick. Are you third in Pro-Am?
I heard I was second. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I don't want there to be drama because the big guy gets blamed for it. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to act cool. I'm going to sit over here, and I hope that a number 2 arrives in my hand.
But you're with Black underwear, but then also with Troy. I saw you with Troy last year at Spring Mountain. New team. How's it feel?
Feels great. You know, these guys are teaching me a lot. Whenever you have to, switch things up like this, you're learning personalities, you're learning cars, you're learning everything. And Troy's been, the best since I met him in the SCCA runoffs where we actually went head-to-head and we became good friends. So, but yeah, no, it feels great to be at TRB. Of course, thank you to Black Underwear, who's always supporting me. And then Kissing Tulips, a new flower shop in Jacksonville. They're the best.
Nice. How about that? Kissing Tulips, Black Underwear. Some great things about to happen here at our winner's circle. So, gentlemen, I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
Got a theme going.
All right, Ben, thank you. A lot of activity down there, and they're cleaning up where Corey Day parked his burning Chevy. Fortunately, they were able to put that out. And here's a look at our results. Thomas Annunziata, Mike Skeen, Austin Green. Top 3, Adrian Vostovsky, Noah Harmon, Boris Head, Tristan McKee, Carson Brown, Sam Corey, and Julian DaCosta rounding out the top 10. Well, DJ, as you assess today, I know unfortunately we had a lot of laps under yellow, but we did see some fast action, some aggressive action. Outside of Gonzalez, did anybody stand out to you that, yeah, this car looks like it's going to be a player this year?
Well, obviously, Rafa Matos, as we saw him fight his way back up through the field. But I've also got to give some credit here to Tristan McKee. Faded a little bit later on in the race, fell down to about 7th position, but was running way up towards the top, looking very, very good. And I think that's going to be a car to watch out for. Really, any of your top 5 here at this point, Green, Skeen as well, are going to be in this conversation. And Vostovsky, I mean, what a great run for him. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic to be able to get that P4 away. Really, really impressed there by that. And Sam Corey, good run for him. Nitro all around looks very strong.
They sure do. Yeah, they got a deep pool over there, don't they?
Yeah, they certainly do.
Well, let's show you some of the highlights from the green flag action that we had. We didn't have as much as we had hoped for, but what we had was pretty thrilling as this day got underway. We knew with a deep field of cars and a lot of talented young drivers, things were going to get pretty aggressive, and they did pretty fast here today. See, even going down into turn number 1 with Gonzalez making a bold move on the outside. He made that work. Then we had 5 cars off here early on, and then it got to be a little worse after that, DJ.
Yeah, it got a little bit scruffy as things went along. That first incident was cleaned up, and then this, to me, was the moment of the race. Rafa Matos having that contact, big hit there for Adam Andretti down to the inside. Got restarted back again, but again, we were scuppered by a little bit more caution there. Rafa Matos going off as well as Valentino Guare.
Yeah, just scattered cars here, there, and a little bit of everywhere, didn't we? And I'll tell you what, down here in turn 1, too, things got a little crazy late in the day. And then Gonzalez right at the end after dominating the day. Something goes wrong on the 10, and he is out. And Annunziata is on his way to the top step of the podium.
Annunziata able to claim that victory over Mike Skeen and Austin Green. It'll be a very, very happy day for Nitro and Thomas Annunziata. This is a mark of contention for them. This is a statement going forward.
It really is, and you know they spent the entire offseason, like everybody does, testing, working on the cars, late hours in the shop, thinking, hoping, praying. We're putting it all together the right way to be a player this year. You think you've got it all buttoned together. You just don't know till you get to the racetrack and that first green flag falls if you really are dialed in the way you need to be. Now they're going to be able to head back to the shop. They got a couple of weeks before we go to Road Atlanta and gather everybody up again, and they are going to be carrying a ton of momentum down to Georgia.
And that's what you need, momentum and confidence going forward. If you've got those two magical ingredients into the stew, that's going to make a race weekend go all the smoother for you.
100%. The setup for the car will be radically different, as you talked about, but at least you know that if you get the setup right, you got the speed.
and especially with the likes of Annunziata, Borisset Jr. as well, Sam Corey, Julian DaCosta, all of these drivers, they're going to have that confidence. They're going to have that, to use a young people's term, that swagger to come on into the next race saying, you know what, I got this. I can get my elbows out a little bit more. I can take those chances that I wouldn't normally take, and that is immeasurable.
I think there's two guys that will be chomping at the bit, however, to get to Road Atlanta, and that's going to be Rafa Matos and Gonzalez, because Gonzalez knows he left one on the table.
And I think Rafa does too. I think Rafa
he feels he
really had the chance to be able to fight his way forward. So I think those two are going to have their hackles up a little bit. They're going to have something to prove.
Yeah, elbows out for sure when we get to Road Atlanta for those guys. Back to Ben in Victory Lane.
Architecture representatives here too, don't we? Nice. We are going to start with the Pro-Am. Now, these are provisional results. Anything can happen. We had some craziness out there on the track today. But in third place, with the black underwear, kissing tulips, Ford Mustang for TRB Autosports, let's hear it. First round draft pick of the Miami Dolphins, now racing cars with us, Jared Odrick.
Thank you. Thank you.
How about some Miami Dolphins fans out there? Played for the Miami Dolphins. Now, I heard a fan say do the Pee-wee, but Jared said I only do the Pee-wee when I'm on the top step. How about that? Jared Odrick, last year's Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series Pro-Am champion, gave the best acceptance speech I've ever heard at last year's banquet. Let's hear it. Accio Data, Cube 3 Architecture's Barry Bose. M1 Team SLR. You know, we have steps over here, Barry. All right, up there in second. And then, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Chicago, really fun to have him in this series. He's been with us a long time. HP Tuners, Mike Cope Race Cars, Ford Mustang. Let's hear it for Keith Prochek.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Chris. Hold on, Nick Middleton. Come here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the CEO, founder of Cube 3 Architecture Design. I live in the city of Nashville. They're building a huge building there. It's unbelievable. The best sponsor any series could ask for. How was the start of the season for you?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for all the fans today. Great opportunity to restart the series, the 2025 series. I think it's going to be a very competitive season. We've got a lot of young drivers here, so I'm glad to see them doing well today. We've got a lot of familiar faces, but I'm going to be happy to be here for the entire season. And thank you for all the Cube 3 team that's arrived today. And congratulations, everybody, today, all the winners.
Nice. How about that? Didn't miss a race last season. Best sponsor we could ever ask for, Nick Middleton, Cube 3. Thank you so much for your support. But Jared Odrick back on the podium here in TA2. That's got to feel good.
No, it feels great. We had a little mishap there. I was behind Rafa, who was struggling a little bit, and seemed like he was dropping some stuff on track, and I spun and won. So I went all the way to the back of the field, worked my way through, and on one of those double yellows, I said, thank God I have my GoPros attached, so we're going to have some good content after this, driving through the field. So was able to catch up to these guys and be a little competitive there at the end, and saw Barry getting a little dicey there at the end. But, you know, he's always strong. He's always consistent. And congratulations to Keith Prochek.
Nice. How about that? Jared Odrick, ladies and gentlemen. Barry Bose. Man, you just have so much fun in the race car. And I was talking about this. Barry Bose has the most Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series miles from the 2024 season, and you're starting strong this year. How's it feel?
Oh, it is absolutely fantastic. You know, this is absolutely my favorite race series. Everyone knows these cars are raw. They're incredible. They're a super challenge to drive them. When you get it right, it's just so rewarding. We have this stack field. We've got the Chevrolet, Toyota, and other development drivers here. Right? We've got guys who are going straight from here and winning in NASCAR Truck and NASCAR and Xfinity. Right? This is serious competition, and I love it.
Yeah. You like the competition.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. You know, competition, it's what hones you. It's what's make you better.
Nice. I love it. And then one of my favorites in the series, longtime TA2 racer, Keith Prochek, HP Tuners. Keith, take the mic. Tell us how it feels.
Yeah, it feels great to be on the top step. Thanks Cube 3, thanks Trans Am. Jared, great drive from the back. You're keeping me honest in my mirrors. And Barry, that was definitely your race. You got taken out there on the last lap. I capitalized. I wish we had a bit more green laps, but certainly a fantastic car, Cope great maker car. Thanks to the team. Thanks Trans Am staff, keeping us safe out there. And look forward to more of these.
Nice. I love it. All right, so Lucas, we're going to take some photos here with these new trophies, so we'll make sure you're out of the way, but we got to shoot this too. All right, crowd, Sebring Speed 2, let's get loud. Hold those trophies up high. Jared Odrick, Barry Bowes, Keith Prochuk. Who wants some Cube 3 cubes? Here we go. Hold up those Cube 3 cubes, and then they will throw those things out there for you. Oh, and we got some new Cube 3 hats, too, some orange hats. How about that? Come on now, Sebring, get loud. Jared Odrick, Barry Bowes, Keith Prochuk. Here, man, I am loving this crowd. Sebring, we love coming here. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, throw them out, man. Ooh, that was a good throw. All right, and I think we have one more hat. We've got the Pirelli hats coming up and the champagne. So watch out, Lucas, because they're going to be spraying some champagne out here. Everybody is 21 here in the Pro-Am. All right, guys. Come on, Sebring. Last chance for the Pro-Am. Let's get loud, Sebring Speed Tour. Jared Odrick, Barry Bowes, Keith Prochuk, right into the eyes. You're smart when you wear sunglasses here on the podium at our winner's circle. Nice job. Gentlemen, congratulations. You can throw those hats out or you can keep them, whatever you wish. I know Purple Hoodie wants a hat. Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series National. Oh, sorry. Hold on, we missed a photo. Sorry about that. Thanks, Chris. Chris is keeping me honest, ladies and gentlemen. Nice. Sorry, Barry, that's my fault. You get pictures dripping of champagne. All right, in third place, he did so well last year with Three Dimensional Services Group in the Xfinity Series and came and ran some select events with us last year. One of my favorite drivers. Let's hear it for Austin Green, third place, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. He won here in 2020. He went on to win the championship in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. One of the best TA2 drivers in history. Let's hear for the legend, Mike Skeen with Guthrie's Garage. Franklin Road Apparel, Cube 3 Architectures, M1 Team SLR. Oh, I see, Chris. Sorry about that. And then last year's Young Guns winner. So happy to have him here with the RaceNitro.com, Nitro Motorsports. Let's hear for Thomas Annunziata. Taking the lead on the last lap. Chris, sorry about that. All right, Austin Green. Your friend Doug Peterson with Three Dimensional Services Group had some bad luck today, but you made up for it for being here on the podium at the Sebring Speed Tour. How's it feel?
It's great. Like I said, great to be back in the Trans Am Series, and Sebring's great. I love this track. We kind of made a mistake in qualifying, so I think if we would have qualified better, we probably, could have been up there for all those restarts. So just hats off to everybody at Peterson Racing for their work all winter and this weekend. We were really fast, and I just, hate we couldn't have a long run there to kind of show for it. So just hats off to them. Thank you to Doug Peterson and Three Dimensional Services Group, and just go on to the next one.
Nice. How about that? Austin Green, ladies and gentlemen. Now coming over here to a TA2 champ, Mike Skeen. How was your race out there?
It was good. I mean, a bit frustrating with all the short runs. Feel bad for the fans that came out here. They saw a lot of yellow flag lapping, but really happy to be here. Thanks to the Team SLR guys, Guthrie's Garage, everybody that came together and helped us get here this weekend, and hopefully we can come back and do some more. Congrats to these Nitro guys. Feel bad for Gonzalez dropping out on the last lap. He definitely had a solid run today, but congrats to Annunziata, and we'll go get him next time.
How about that? Mike Skeen, the legend, my son's favorite driver, Mike Skeen. Thomas Annunziata, man, to win you have to be there at the end. You showed us just that. Take the mic. Tell us about your race, please.
Well, it was a slow start. I got under Rafa Matos in the beginning, and it looked like he got sideways, and I got knocked off the racetrack. So fell down the fifth, and car was really good. Copy paste what Mike said. I wish there was more, green flag runs, but we got up there to the front, and this win goes down to Michael, Ronnie, and Nick Tucker. A driver to nothing without a good car. So thank you to Nitro Motorsports, and I mean, in my eyes, I finished second today. My teammate and great friend of mine, Tyler Gonzalez, drove an amazing race. He was the class of the field all day, and I hate to see that happen to him, but second place car today, but I'll take the win. We went through a lot of bad luck last year, so it feels good to be on the good end for once, but yeah, it's really, really cool. Thank you to Chip Boys as well, and again, everyone under Nitro Motorsports and Trans Am for putting on this show.
Nice. All right, how about that, ladies and gentlemen? Austin Green, Mike Skeen, Thomas Annunziata. Come on, Sebring, don't lose us now. You've been so great. There we go. It's coming back. Purple hoodie, I can hear you from here. I love it. Keep it up. All right, so hold those up, please. And then we've got some hats. You could throw those hats out if you'd like. Anybody want some hats? Ooh, oh my gosh, that was amazing. You want to try that again? He wants redemption. There we go. Oh, the wind. Oh! And almost on Kevin. Here we go. Hold those trophies up, guys. Come on now. Austin Green, Mike Skeen, Thomas Annunziata. Yes, Sebring. Man, I love coming to Sebring. Oh, just throw it right at the photographer. All right, we've got the Pirelli hats. Everybody lift up those trophies. Come on, Sebring, get loud. Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series at the winner's circle. So happy to be here back at Sebring. And now we've got champagne. And everybody's, two of them are barely of age. Oh, they're going for it. Oh, Mike Skeen, the seasoned veteran, forgot to wear his glasses, goes right into the eyes. Nice job. How's that feel? Ooh, are you okay?
No, we're good.
Okay. Come on, one more time. For Austin Green, Mike Skeen, Thomas Annunziata. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the Omologato Watches fastest lap goes to the class of the field, quoting Thomas Annunziata. Let's hear Tyler Gonzalez. Where is he? Here he comes. Where is the watch? All right, Michelle, look at this. Look at the teamwork here. How about this Nitro Motorsports and the camaraderie? Tyler, unbelievable run out there, just the unfortunate luck, and you are the Omologato fastest lap. Come on, let's hear it for Tyler Gonzalez. He had the car, he was hooked up, and just a mechanical. So Tyler, I didn't get to see it. Where did it happen?
Coming to the white flag, unfortunately. I was able to grab the throttle linkage for a little bit, but in the end, it was just too much. So it's unfortunate for sure, but Nitro Motorsports gave me a great car. We were able to qualify up front, run all the whole race in the lead, and couldn't have asked for a better showing. It's unfortunate what happened at the end, but overall, I'm still happy with the team, the performance we put on, and we're looking forward to coming back next time.
What do you mean you were able to grab the throttle linkage?
There's a little bar that the throttle pedal is connected to, and I was able to hold on to it for a little bit, keep my hopes and dreams alive, but this just wasn't enough, so it's unfortunate. But
oh my gosh, how about that for some ingenuity? Tyler, so sorry about that. But Tyler Gonzalez, the Omologato fastest lap. Nice job. Thank you guys so much for coming out. That does it for the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series opener at the Sebring Speed Tour. We will be back here tomorrow for the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Cube 3 people, thank you guys so much for your support. Best sponsors ever. Thank you guys so much.
All right, Ben, thank you for that coverage of our victory podium area. Thank you, DJ Clark, for stopping by and joining me for the laps.
My pleasure. It was great. We'll see you back tomorrow for TA and XGT and all the GT fun.
Yep, historic Trans Am and all the above. Sounds like it'll be a good time. We'll see you then. Joining me now, Cal Denice, sliding in, grabbing a microphone. Good to see you, Cal. We're going to have Group 5A, 7, 11, and PSSA in action. That race already underway. So we're going to join this one in progress.
Yes. And, looks like a good battle going on already in those Sports 2000s. So looking forward to continuing to watch this and see what
Well, we have no timing and scoring. At least I don't. I don't know if you've got it over there, but I'm not getting any timing and scoring. So if you can update us on the timing and scoring.
Yeah, I got timing here, and looks like Travis engine is back out in front. You know, he is always crushing it in that Audi. There we go. That Audi is just, it's amazing to see it here at such a historic track like Sebring. And the rest of the field seems to still be working its way through after that first lap, but we'll start to see some good lap times come through. There we go. Yep, still low 2 minutes right there for Travis, and the rest of the field as they work their way through, we'll see how they shape out.
That's such an incredible car, that Audi R8 LMP machine. It's one of the most legendary race cars of all time.
It is such a cool car. And I love that he brings it to all these SVRA events and gets a chance to run it everywhere, and it's great for the fans to see. And, the one car out there that kind of looks a little different, that Ford GT 40 over there, I believe is built by H. They're outside Atlanta. Another great car. It falls into that prototype category, but we see here on the screen back into that PS3 battle. We've got a couple Sabecos out here today and running against the Radicals. I believe Radicals got their race coming up next weekend. So it's good to see a few of them out here as well. And there's that Dallara. Have you gotten a chance to look at that Dallara yet?
I've looked at it a little bit. It's very cool. The Dallara has a nice display as you enter into the grounds here, and they got a couple over there that they're showing off. It is just a beautiful car.
It is. And, they're putting out a lot of power in that thing. So it was really cool to get a chance to walk around it. It's, all carbon fiber and putting out a lot of power. I think they said over 500 horsepower. So it'll be cool to see that with us this year. Hopefully they show up to more.
It's been a bit of the talk of the paddock all weekend, hasn't it?
It sure has. And, right now I see, again, that Audi, he is just checked out. Travis runs so well. The person I'm not seeing out there is Jacek. Not sure what's going on there, but that Cadillac DPI car is not out on track at the moment.
Haven't seen it all weekend on the track. I haven't, at least.
It's run a few times. He, he was sub 2 minutes earlier today in qualifying this morning, and just it's such a beautiful car. And I'm not sure what's going on there, but hopefully we'll see them out tomorrow. Yep, there's
there
that
goes
Dallara.
Dallara.
Yeah, with the DPO2, that former IMSA Light car there, a lot of downforce. That looks like it might be in the original spec for the IMSA Light category. I know a lot of guys have thrown a lot of aero on them and run SCCA P1, but that one looks a little bit more closer to the original spec, which is actually similar to the MPO1 as far as, they were built in the same factory originally, right there with the lawn outside of Road Atlanta. We're here at another facility that's got so much history with Don Panos. But those DPO2s, they were great cars. The MPO1 and PS3 now that we're representing has really evolved from the early days. Again, that DPO2 just
Change of positions here. Looks like the number 7 of Ralph Lamacchia got around that Dallara and picked up a spot on him.
Yep, and as the field's starting to shake out, Jeff Williams, he's in that Radical SR3. He's really got a big lead over what was a tight grouping for the PS3 class. We've got Gary Gray in the PS1, maybe a little out of place for him. Hopefully he keeps clicking down some quick laps. And Seth Henry, again, newcomer to the PSSA this year. He won the Ginetta Challenge last year and is joining this year to run PSSA and get a little bit of more experience in the downforce cars. He's also in that Lamborghini, that purple Lamborghini that was in the IGT race. So looking forward to seeing him do some double duty this weekend.
Look how solid and planted that Audi is going through a very bumpy turn 1.
It is, very much so. And again, they've got a great battle going on there with that Dallara and the DP02. A little different performance, obviously the Dallara with a lot more power, but the aerodynamics and downforce of that DP02 is phenomenal. And it's really interesting seeing the rest of the field, some of the different strengths and weaknesses, even like that Radical and the Sebeco right there. You know, they produce their lap time a little differently, and different tracks play into the different cars' strengths and weaknesses. And you know, looks like there's a safety car there, or a safety vehicle.
Taking a look at the 14 there, John Thompson and his Lola 90.
And there's Goebel, defending champion, reigning champion for the series, for PSSA, PS3 categories. But that's a great battle right there going on. Looking at them
Sure
through
is.
turn 1.
Making the move, Henry Payne getting around Thompson, picking up the spot.
Look like there might be something going on over there near turn 3. We'll see if they pick that back up.
James Dennison coming by in his Revolution 427. And under attack here is the 99 machine.
And it looked like he
That's
had an
Goebel
unscheduled
Newsom.
stop right at the start of the race. And a little bit of damage to that right front. So not quite sure what happened to Goebel there, but we'll find out after the race. And,
Our Audi working through some slower traffic. Getting past the 53 of Thomas Lacosta and a Lola T492. Sean Monet. It's a Radical SR3. This here is still, I think, the best battle on the racetrack. With Ralph Lamacchia and then being pushed pretty hard from behind.
Yeah, I believe that's Joe Colley out there in the car. He's also running a few other cars, I believe, this weekend. And those old vintage cars just mixed in with some of the modern cars. It's one of the great things about PSSA and SVRA as a whole. Oh, and it is that
GT's
GT40
done.
seems to be where I saw those safety vehicles earlier. But yeah, you get such a wide variety of vehicles, from what looks like a modern Dallara out there with a semi-modern DP02 all the way to the vintage S2000s. It's a great way to just get a chance to see everything. So really awesome display for the fans here. And I do see that Revolution out there. I think they're going to be at some more events later this year. The rest of the guys from Classic Car Club and the rest of the Revolution camp. And we're looking forward to seeing them come back out and play with us some more.
This car is also stiffly sprung, too, on a bumpy circuit like this. Got to be a handful.
Absolutely. I was watching some of the cars throughout the testing and qualifying, and they're pretty stiff, lots of bouncing. Similar to watching the TA2 cars where they're just kind of hopping around. The cars will get almost airborne going over some of these bumps, and it makes it quite challenging. You do want to avoid them as much as possible, especially if it's raining, because you get those puddles, and that makes it even more challenging here. So luckily we've had fantastic weather, especially coming down from Atlanta. It was almost snowing when we left there.
Yeah.
So enjoying it down here right now. Great weather, and it looks like that DPO2 is finally starting to stretch its legs. And I've seen that in the past where it takes a little while for those Hancooks to heat up. And once they get going and that downforce kicks in and it really generates the heat in the tire, they grip up and those DPO2s will just keep getting faster and faster. So that's the leader, I believe, in PS3 right there, the 427. And should be closely followed, or he was closely followed earlier by the 59.
There's Payne in that 13. Henry. Our drone moving around. Action down the Ullman straightaway here. Since one thing that's interesting about this category is the concepts are all basically the same of what you're trying to achieve, but everybody goes at that canvas in a completely different way, and you end up with a wide variety of cars that kind of look similar but look radically different at the same time.
Absolutely. Everybody's got their own little take on it. Again, looking at that Audi, it was designed for the straights of Le Mans and running those big endurance races. It's a pretty stout chassis. And again, as you work through everything from the Revolutions to our cars with the Sabecos, even the DPO2s, everybody's got that little different take. I think the newest one is seeing that Dallara. I didn't see that last season, and it's really a neat take. Whoa, a little sideways there.
Is it big enough with the Dallara to be a game changer for the category going forward? Is everybody else going to be forced to, I don't want to say necessarily follow the trend, but start heading in a similar direction?
I haven't seen anything yet that's going to be necessarily game changer. Again, that DPO2 that's out in front of him is really a standard. I'm curious to see if we start seeing more LMP3 cars show up, and as those have phased out, even a new day coming out this season for the JSP 25s. Wondering what's going to happen to some of those older chassis and wondering if they come here. I think if we start seeing the LMP3s show up, that'll start being, can they get numbers? And if so, how are they going to perform, especially against the Revolutions in that PS1 category? And, the rest of the field, it's great seeing the Radicals here. They've got a great platform that can run across pretty much every class from the SR10 and PS1 to the SR3 1500s and PS2 and the 1340s and PS3. And I was even talking to Rob about, we saw some rushes last year at the COTA event at the end of the season. So we're wondering if they'll come out and have their own class in sort of a PS4 class. So we'll see if that happens or not. And looks like checkered flag falls right there.
Yep, sure does. The Audi taking another win at Sebring. Was here part of the broadcast crew the 50th anniversary at Sebring, and the Audi R8 took the win that day too.
Oh, wow.
So, not surprised to see that happen. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage here on Speed Sport 1 for the season opener this first Saturday here with the Speed Tour and Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli and the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 class. We'll be back tomorrow for a lot more great racing. Make sure you tune in. See you then.
good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140 mile an hour entry speed.
quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
There's Boris said. One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here. Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, Lagarde, Miller, Lagarde.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now you're looking at the 2025 event schedule for the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, the National Championship. And as you can see on the left there, we go to all of the premier tracks: Sebring, Road Atlanta, Sonoma, WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, Lime Rock, Mid-Ohio, Road America, Watkins Glen, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, which the first time I was there was last year. Great track. Virginia International Raceway, Barber Motorsports Park, and Circuit of the Americas. Then the Western, just a few weeks from now, we're at Buttonwillow, and then they're racing with National at Sonoma and Laguna Seca. Then we go to Portland International Raceway for a doubleheader, Thunder Hill for a doubleheader, and then they close at Circuit of the Americas. So thank you so much. Look at all those great, fantastic sponsors there at the bottom. We've got Mission Foods here this weekend. We've got Cube 3 Architecture is here. Optima is here. All the cars are drinking Sunoco fuels as you look there at our Sebring Speed Tour grid with all those beautiful flags and all our marketing partners. Loving the images that we're getting here at the Sebring Speed Tour. Ralph Shaheen is going to join me quickly here in the booth. But, ladies and gentlemen, the probably favorite in vintage racing, the favorite group is going to be the historic Trans Am cars. These cars had to have been in the Trans Am series from 1966 to 1972, the big ground pounders, the Bud Moore cars, the Roger Penske cars, the Dan Gurney AA cars, just unbelievable cars. But let me explain. So what they have to do, the rules to this are, that's not a historic Trans Am car there. That is some kind of old airplane. But because we are so close to the airport here, part of the airport, But these cars in historic Trans Am, what you have to do is kind of show a photo of maybe this car competed at Sebring in 1967. Here's a photo. Then the car has to match, has to be set up exactly as it was. There's my friend Joe Turno right there from Bark Boys talking to a friend here at Sebring. Joe Turno, legendary MGA racer, an MG driver, but he actually snuck out of high school at Binghamton, New York when he was in high school and drove down here to Sebring with his good buddies and Dave Nicholas, and they met Janet Guthrie on the way and skipped school to come to the Sebring 12 hours back in the day. But back to historic Trans Am. These cars were set up just as they were. They have to look just as they were. They've got, the up to 305 displacement. We've got some Fords, we've got some Chevys, we've got Plymouth, we've got the Javelins, AMC, we've got Mercuries, anything that was out there in the Trans Am series. We'll start here in position 1. Legendary motor cars, Peter Kloot in a Ford Shelby Mustang. Then starting second, Jim Haig in that Peter Gregg Ford Boss 302 from Bud Moore. Starting third, we're going to see him tomorrow in TA, is my friend Tommy Dreese, who I didn't see him out there in third. So hopefully he makes it in the Chaparral Jim Hall Camaro, 1 of 1. Bill Ockerland is in the Penske Javelin, the number 6. Penske Javelin. Talking to him last night, he said that it was actually Roger Penske's favorite car. They really love the Penske Javelin, and we'll get into some of that. Has something to do with those Porsche 917 Girling brakes that AMC was able to put into their catalog and make it legal, so those cars could stop better. Then my friend Ken Adams is in a Ford Boss 302. Ike Keeler in that Mercury Cougar. Chris Liebenberg with 3 Dog is in a Ford Mustang. Jeff O'Neill in a Ford Boss 302. That is the Jeff O'Neill from the Velocity Invitational, another great vintage race organization. They hold a fantastic event at Sonoma, so you need to check that out. Then Robert Canepa in a Ford Boss 302 starting 10th. John Romano in a Chevrolet Camaro starting 11th. My friend James Glass, Jim Glass in a Chevrolet Camaro. He's here just about every year, but this is the first time I remember seeing him in an HTA car. He's usually in a gold medallion Corvette. John Hildebrandt in one of the most famous historic Trans Am cars, that Pontiac Tempest GTO, the Gray Ghost. Rick Jeffrey in a Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Dennis Singleton starting 15th in a Chevrolet Camaro. Ken Epsman in maybe one of my favorite HTA cars in that Roy Woods AMC Javelin. Steve Link loves Trans Am. He races a Trans Am B sedan with us on the West Coast, and he's here in a Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Kevin Sittner in a Ford Boss 302 starting 19th. Bill Goodwin in a Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Ross Myers in a Ford Mustang, Steve Eftemu in a Ford Boss 302, and then Tom McIntyre in what I consider the Chevrolet Camaro, the Sunoco Camaro, the car that really made Mark Donohue and Roger Penske's career. I think that car won 10 of the 12 races in 1968, but I'm sure our fans here on Speed Tour TV can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm joined now by the legend Ralph Sheheen with Speed Sport, and just a fantastic announcer. Ralph, it is my honor to be sitting next to you in the booth.
Well, thank you, Ben. It's a pleasure to be here with you and all of our fans as we get ready for one of my favorite divisions as well of all racing, historic Trans Am. I don't know if much looks better, and nothing certainly sounds better. I can promise you that.
Yeah, unbelievable. This is probably the fan favorite. If we post something on Facebook, let's say it gets this many units of views. If we post historic Trans Am, it'll be 20x times that. Just because these are the cars set up exactly as they were. It is always really fantastic racing. So if you're joining us here on YouTube, tell us where you're watching from and who you're rooting for. Give us any kind of insight that you may have or knowledge you may have of these cars, drivers, crews, mechanics. And we are about to get going here at Sebring International Raceway as they come around the Bennett Bridge Hall section. And this is a very important section of the track, this turn 16. If you get turn 16 wrong and you don't carry a momentum out of there, you've got about a 3/4 of a mile straightaway And with these 305s and 302s, you know, it just skipped my mind. You may know this, Ralph, but I forget how Javelin got away with it. I think they had to re-stroke the cars to make it into that 305. You remember the factory displacement? Then they had to re-stroke it. I'm sure our experts online know.
Somebody will update us on that. See the Javelin sitting right there outside row number 1. There's 2 of them here this week, and the Roy Woods car is here as well, but not in our race today.
Oh, it's not out there, huh?
I see the Penske Javelin, but not the Roy Woods car. Here we go, up onto the front straightaway, getting ready to go green, and we're racing with historic Trans Am here at Sebring. The Bud Moore Mustang leads them into turn number 1. There goes that beautiful Cougar. Cougar owned by Ike Keeler.
Ike is out here this weekend in 3 different Trans Am cars. He was in the Oldsmobile, but Jim Haig taking it over Bill Ockerland here as they come through this Cube 3 section. And you can see the cars moving, the body roll of these cars. These cars are set up just like they were back in the day, and you can really see that they're just struggling for grip.
Yeah, these are all cars that came off the production line and then were taken and massaged into the race car you see here today.
So that's Jim
hard
Haig
on the brakes.
in the Peter Gray Bud Moore car. Hard on the brakes, like you said, in the Mission Foods. You come basically from your top gear down to probably second, maybe.
Oh, the Parnelli Jones car is off.
Jeff O'Neill in that Bud Moore Parnelli Jones car. For a while they ran that kind of maroon and black, and then they went to the school bus yellow. That's kind of what I always think of when I think of Bud Moore. There is the Ken Epsman Javelin there. Isn't that the Roy Woods Javelin coming down this front straight into Cube 3? So he must have been late to
It
grid.
must have been a late entry tagging the back end of the field, because I didn't see it as we were coming to green. The Penske Javelin right in the thick of things, though.
That is Bill Ockerland, longtime historic Trans Am. Then Ike Keeler in that Cougar. And that should be Chris Liebenberg. Looking for who's in that other Bud Moore car, the school bus yellow car in 4th. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got some history on the track. Let us know. Oh, we've got Jarrett is rooting for the number 6 Penske Javelin.
Here it comes up the inside. Jarrett, get ready. You got a new leader, and it's your Javelin out front here at Sebring. So come down to the final corner, down into Sunset. Man, that thing is cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I keep getting distracted. The music that HTA makes is some of the best. And every once in a while, you'll kind of hear us go quiet because we also just want to hear the music of these big American V8s roaring around Sebring.
Well, and we know you want to hear it at home, too. So it's a much nicer sound to hear those cars than just to hear us. Ockerland out front, leading in the Jag. Peter Clute having a pretty good run in his Shelby Mustang, sitting in 3rd.
Yeah, Peter Clute, a longtime Group 6 competitor. He makes some of the coolest Corvettes in Group 6. Actually, I kind of got introduced to vintage racing from a TV show that he made, and just absolutely kind of fell in love with it. So thank you, Peter, with LMC out of, I think, the Toronto area.
Yeah, I was going to say he's happy to escape Canada to make his way down here to Florida, I'm sure, for a long weekend.
Oh, but Peter Clute on the inside of Jim Haig here. What's going to happen?
Yeah, he's got the white Mustang with the red striping right there, the 63. That is a Shelby Mustang.
Shelby didn't race a lot in Trans Am back in the day, but there were a few. And it's great to see him out here in the Shelby Mustang in the historic Trans Am group.
Oh, and the 72 is off. The 72 machine, Steve Link in his Z28 Chevy Camaro. And I did see the Roy Woods car go by. It is at the very back end of the field, so it must have roll down onto the racetrack from the pit lane, maybe.
Ken Epsman is very laid back, and sometimes too laid back that he's okay with taking off his flip-flops and getting in his shoes and coming to the car, and he might have been a little bit late for grid there.
Well, there's not a lot of stress and strain, at least there shouldn't be, to vintage car racing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be fun, and these drivers are having a blast out there. This historic Trans Am group, they're just so much fun to watch.
Is that our Chaparral Camaro, Tom?
Yeah, there's Tommy Dreese. He's having some mechanical because
I think Tommy was late to the show as well, wasn't he?
And he's way offline there, but look out, Jim Hague. You got Tommy Dreese, so watch for him to duck into pit lane. But Ike Keeler taking advantage of this, and look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a tight pack of 5 here racing up front as the Peter Gray car piloted by Jim Hague goes under the bridge.
Peter Gray, the legendary racer out of Jacksonville, Florida. Incredible racer, tragic end to his life. But an amazing wheelman.
So Tommy Dreese, knowing Tommy, he was late to grid. That's not unlike him. But he waited for the leaders to catch up, and now he's on the loud pedal,
now
just trying to have
play.
some fun with the leaders.
Yeah.
And I think
not
that's
going for the win, but going for the grins.
Yeah, and I love that about Tommy Dreese. Call him Hollywood over here sometimes, or the Rockin' Moroccan. There's Steve Link, so he had that spin at 7, but back on it.
There's Clute in the 63. Shelby Mustang being chased by a Bud Moore Mustang. That just sounds right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As it should be with the world. And look at this. Here comes our Javelin again, that Penske Javelin. And congratulations to the captain. He had a tremendous week. Roger Penske turning 88 this week and also being inducted into our all-new Trans Am Hall of Fame, and rightly so, in the inaugural induction class. Congratulations, Mr. Penske. That's fantastic. Well deserved.
Speaking of Penske, there at the driver's right, that was Tom McIntyre and that Penske Sunoco Camaro of Mark Donohue that won so many races in the 68 season. But look at this battle up front, Ralph.
It's a good one.
It's really good. So we've got AMC. We basically have
AMC, Ford, Mercury,
yeah.
Ford, Chevy.
Almost.
How about that?
Plymouth was pretty involved in Dodge with the Sam Posey car and the Sweet Savage
Yeah, and
Plymouth.
the Sweet Savage car is here, but...
Well, Bill Ockerland's in the Javelin, so
Yeah.
you can't drive both at the same time. But he was telling me with the Sweet Savage car, it was the first car that Chrysler used a computer to design the roll cage, and it's very, very stiff.
I would have been more than happy to take the other one out for him. You know,
and
if he wanted
could you
it out on
announce
track
from the car? That
I
would
would
be
have
awesome.
been, yeah, it's the kind of thing I'm willing to do to bring the best coverage we can. What a thrill that would be, right?
Yeah. John
Here comes
Romano.
that Peter Gregg car up the inside. Ockerland making the move. New leader as we dip into sunset.
We've had a lot of lead changes in this race. And this is the fight. When I think of Trans Am, it is that Mark Donohue Penske Javelin versus that yellow school bus Bud Moore car.
You could go back to 1970, pull out an issue of National Speed Sport News, and you're going to see that exact picture.
Yeah. And look, another lead change.
Because it happened more than once around the country as they all went to battle.
And it was in the Bud Moore cars, it seemed to be, it was sometimes Fulmer and it was sometimes Parnelli.
Right.
But the three of them just went at it. So look at that going into the Cube 3 section. Dreese now kind of into third. We'll call it spiritually in third. He's a lap down, but he's wanting to mix it up with his friends out there in that Chaparral Jim Hall Camaro.
Spartanburg, South Carolina's Bud Moore. A war hero, too, Bud Moore.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolute World War II war hero. Got to know Bud in the NASCAR garage area.
Ike Keeler.
Very active there for, obviously, decades as well.
Ike Keeler around Tommy Dreese in that Chaparral.
Big man Bud Moore.
Was he?
Yeah, tall. intimidating till you got close because he was such a big man. But then as you got close, he'd smile, and a very warm smile, and welcome you right in with a big hearty handshake.
Well, let's see if Bill Aukerland can keep the lead here as they come around to the Bishop's Bend here at Sebring International Raceway, where the Trans Am Series started in March of 1966.
On a Friday.
Really?
On a Friday, yeah. And the very next day was the 12 Hours of Sebring. And we are down to the last couple of laps here, too, Ben. Yeah, hard. And guess it was won by Jochen Rindt.
Yeah, in an Alfa.
In an Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
And Bob Tullius won the over category, yeah. That's
in
right.
a car similar to that Grey Ghost. But look at this, Bill Aukerland still has the lead in the Bennett Bridge Hall section. But, man, this is so much fun to watch.
And this is where the passes for the lead have been taking place, down the long Ullman straightaway, headed into turn 17. So let's see if that Mustang can get the draft down here again and make something happen.
Well, watch Chris.
Sniffing to the inside. He's right alongside of him. He's got the preferred line going into the final corner, and the Javelin's going to tuck its nose right behind that bright orange Mustang and probably try to do the exact same thing on the next lap.
Yeah, last time Bill Aukerland overtook him in the Penske Javelin. But George Follmer is here today, and he's seeing his car being piloted by Chris Liebenberg out there running in the top four, and that's got to put a smile on our George Follmer's 91-year-old face.
Of course, George, one of those in that inaugural induction class into our Trans Am Hall of Fame yesterday. There's the Pontiac, the Grey Ghost.
One of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. John Hildebrand.
That car has so much history, and it's, but it was Herb's wife,
yeah.
Herb Adams. It
First
was her
his dad's car.
Yeah.
First his dad's car, and then the wife
crazy.
inherited it from the father, and the grocery getter becomes a spectacular race car.
It doesn't look like you'd make a race car out of that, but in the hands of Hildebrandt, he is a very good driver. That car is for sale, ladies and gentlemen. Reach out to Mr. Hildebrandt because that car is
Hey,
for
we
sale.
got a new leader.
Look at
Javelin back out front at the Mission Foods Turn 7 area. And Tommy Drees has been hanging with these guys ever since he decided to join the fray. There's the Roy Woods Javelin. Jim Haig. No, that's not Jim.
Ken Epsman.
It's Ken Epsman,
Yep.
That's right.
That's an unbelievable car. Vic Elford, Peter Revson, kind of most famous for that. I think Tony A to Z also ran that car a little bit.
Yeah.
Chris Liebenberg back there in that Budmore yellow Follmer car. He's just kind of looking around, and he may be there coming into 17.
Okay. So as they say, I'm not going to tell you if I win the lottery, but there might be signs, right? You just won. You get one of these. Which one you taking?
I think I would get the Roy Woods Javelin.
Okay, good choice.
I just
Good
like
choice.
that a lot.
Couldn't go wrong.
But here they come. They're coming up now. They're about maybe the three-quarters. Yeah, I'm going to let you take us away home to the checkered flag.
Beautiful looking car number 14, Ike Keeler, that Mercury Cougar. But we're down the Ullman straightaway for the final time. Who's going to make the pass here, or will there be one? Haig looking to the inside of Aukerland. Javelin on the outside. Mustang to the inside. Under the brakes, tapping it as we go into sunset. And the Budmore Mustang moves to the front. Can the Javelin get back to the inside through the final corner? He's trying. Here comes Aukerland, making a run at their side-by-side, coming to the checkered flag, and the winner will be the Mustang, not by much more than the width of the front bumper.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
love
that
historic
was the
Trans Am.
best race of the weekend so far. Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Jim Haig, Bill Aukerland, Ike Keeler, Chris Liebenberg. Unbelievable. But we're not done yet here, Ralph.
Yeah, Keeler was making a run at him, too, coming out of the final corner. He was pulling. It was almost three completely side by side.
Can Jeff O'Neill hang on with that Parnelli Jones Mustang?
Yeah, he's going to get there. And the Grey Ghost making a run at the finish as well. Well, that was thrilling.
It is hard not to smile when you watch historic Trans Am, knowing what these drivers go through. It would be a lot easier for them to go back to some more modern brakes and make these cars a little bit more modernized with the technology we have, but they are such stewards to preserving the heritage of these Trans Am cars. It's much harder to keep these cars preserved as they are and race them like this than it is a normal SVRA Group 6 car. So hats off to you, gentlemen.
Hagen Ackerland idling around on the cool-down lap.
Chris Liebenberg with Three Dog Garage. He's got to have the biggest smile on his face there in that school bus. And then Tommy Dreese. I like Tommy. I've got to give you some style points for you. Just wanted the leaders to come by just to play with them. I love it.
We'll see Tommy in action with our Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli tomorrow. There goes your Roy Woods car.
Our friend Boy from New York has joined us. He's a regular in our chat room, and he said he had a 67 Cougar that was a drag race car. But everybody is, like, in all caps, just loving this race at Historic Trans Am. So thanks for joining us.
If you didn't enjoy that one, Historic Trans Am just isn't for you, right?
Yeah. I would say check your pulse.
Yeah, that too.
But every sticker, every little badge on the cars has to be as it was at one of the races in Trans Am back in the day. And I think Vic Elford won in that Chaparral in 1970 in Watkins Glen. Maybe our experts on here can correct me if I'm wrong. And Romano and that Camaro had a great race. There's Epsman waving to the corner workers. Thank you, Ken Epsman, for another great outing of Historic Trans Am. It was kind of Tom McIntyre and Ken Epsman's for a while, and now the torch has been passed in Historic Trans Am to Bill Aukerland and Ken Adams. And knowing all four of those gentlemen, they all love Historic Trans Am, and I feel like they have passed it to two new torchbearers in Ken Adams and Bill Aukerland. So I can't wait to see what they do with Historic Trans Am. In just a few weeks, they're going to be at Charlotte at the new track.
Yes,
they're going to be the
10/10.
first race cars on that track running, and that's going to be really neat. I was communicating with Ray Evernham and his people that are helping kind of putting that on, so that's going to be a really neat event.
It's going to be first weekend in April. Marcus Smith and Rick Hendrick coming together and opening up a new racetrack called 10/10. It's not completely a club track, meaning it, condos and all that, but they're headed that way. But they will hold public events there like Historic Trans Am in April.
Not sure what happened to Kevin Sittner there in that Ford Boss 302. And then what happened to Peter Kloot? He just kind of fell away.
Yeah, not sure.
Those good years have stopped rolling.
Look at the stance on that thing.
It looks fast, and I know it's not
It looks
moving.
mean, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not right now, but it looks mean. All right, well, while they take care of getting him off the racetrack, Kevin, we'll have somebody over to you soon. We will be right back for more racing action from here at Sebring International Raceway. Stay with us.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.
Mission Foods Road Atlanta Speed Tour returns to Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta, March 21st through the 23rd, featuring the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, International GT, PSSA, FRP, and the Janetta Challenge. Saturday, you can take part in the Haggerty Cars and Caffeine Car Show with Parade Lab. You do not want to miss the Road Atlanta Speed Tour, March 21st through the 23rd. For tickets, simply go to speedtour.net.